Wake up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
I'm so freaking proud of you, man. That's the way to show up. You talk about pressure, we live in pressure. That's where we freaking thrive. You did it again. All right? It doesn't matter who's playing for us. It doesn't matter what's going on. You always find a way to win. This has been in the making, man. This has been in the making. All right? We were all supposed to be here together, man. We're destined for this. Just stay the course.
Get him out of here! It's a Victory Friday show here at Wake Up Woodward. What up, though, chat family? Goodness gracious, does this feel good, man?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, it's your boy Brandon Dan, Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential pictures reporter and writer for the network. We got Flannel Sam. Today, wearing a Victory hoodie.
Oh,
hey, the
yes.
better the squad, man, better the network. All sports, Noah Red Wings correspondent. And this morning, it is just Lions.
Lions, 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 and FTP, because that is one of the other themes of this show. The Lions officially swept the Packers on the season, and would you believe it, the Lions have won 6 out of their last 7 meetings with the Green Bay Packers. It's the changing of the guard. The Lions run the NFC North now. The Packers did for a very long time, but now it is the Lions. It's a symbolic passing of the torch. One of the ways that we knew it was different in Detroit, and we knew that they would have to do, is you gotta take over and you have to beat and vanquish the former kings of the division and now become the current kings of the division. The Detroit Lions win again against the Packers, and they've got some players on the Packers and a certain coach crashing out as well.
And you know what? It's not just that they've kind of taken over this division, but the division is still hot. But the Lions are just hotter.
Yeah.
That's what makes this that much sweeter. All of the trash that they wanted to talk in, and after the game, McKinney's like, I don't even really think I have anything to say about that. You know, Amon-Ra didn't even really talk on the field, you know, because he got the dub. The dub. That's what's talking right now, man. I love this stuff. They talked so much. And for us to then go and lose another player and still give you this L. Like, I'm on one already, man. I'm hoping all the Detroiters out there, too. Chat family, I'm telling you, you guys are the most important part of this thing. Smash that like button. I know we got Lions, but you want to tell the people what we're talking about segment by segment?
Oh, man, yeah. We've got a lot to unpack when it comes to this game, because I love these shows where we can break down the minutia, all of the good stuff.
Yeah.
We've got Jared Goff making an MVP statement. We've got the 4th down decisions that really won them the game. We've got an opportunity for the Lions to survive in advance, even when things don't always go your way. This Lions team, I mean, nobody's perfect, but they're perfect for me. That's right. And they continue to get wins. You got a certain player eclipse a certain benchmark in terms of yards we're going to talk about. And hey, another certain someone who our friend KG was more high on than basically anybody ended the game with his right foot again.
You are right. His X factor. I know exactly who you're talking about. And I just want to be able to shout out the running backs. I continue to follow this. We said it yesterday. Are they going to get each 70 scrimmage yards? And they both did again.
And they didn't even run the ball that effectively.
They didn't even run the ball that effectively, man. When I look at the box score, it is weird, because I was told that Jordan Love was more elite than Jared Goff, that he had a few more skills and talents in his tool belt. Like, if he was Batman, he got the whole bat belt on, where Jared Goff just doesn't really have much. That's what I was told. The box score is telling me different. The win columns are telling me a little bit different. And we talked about this yesterday. Listen, the ball in Jared Goff's hand with a chance to win the game, that's a dub. This is the reason why he's in MVP conversations, and I cannot wait till we get to that segment as well. You know what? Shout out to KG as well. Listen, it was a long day. We got that video with KG just so he can have his have some presence on today's show because
I got you.
It was too long a night for him at the watch party. Hayes got to him.
KG, what up, though, man?
Hey,
FTP.
FTP all motherfucking day long. You know we smoking that green and yellow pack all week long. The Lions did it, baby. The Lions did it. Hey, and listen, y'all was worried about them injuries. Don't be worried about it no more, man. The Lions got this, bro. The defense went out there and showed they ass, bro. The offense did the same thing. Hey, AG, Assistant of the Year, give him whatever award you want to. But the fact he's been able to coach these boys up, man, has been absolutely amazing. Shout out to the Lions.
Shout out to the Lions, boy. FTP.
So it's not KG's fault that he got to that state. And let me explain. An anonymous caller bought us all a round of drinks, including an 1800 tequila shot. So without that, I'm sure KG would have been fine. I took one as well. I didn't have as much supplementary drinks as KG had, but I'm not even feeling so great this morning. But I'm actually feeling wonderful because it is a Victory Friday and Kool-Aid.
Yes, sir.
I think we've gone a little bit too long without revealing a special guest.
I was about to get there. You know what? Shout out to that dude, Justin. Shout out to Cavassier Chase. And I'm going to get to the special guest. We got several kind of special guests this morning.
Special guests.
So, you know, I'll do this. Shout out to Chase. Shout out to Summer. You're still intern label right now. Intern Summer is in the building. What up, though?
What up,
on this
though?
Victory Friday show.
Yes,
Go Lions.
you see the hoodie.
Hey, got your Detroit versus
everybody.
Hey, let them see the hoodie. Hey, let's rock. Let's rock.
You know I had to rock this today.
Hey, let's go. You fired up?
Yes.
Let's rock. Hey, WUW Sports MVP in the TD booth is JB Smooth. What up, though?
Yo, another Victory Friday? How many of these can we keep up, man? Like,
We've
how many
had-
of these can we do, like, over and over again? I know you barely got any sleep last night. I seen the watch party, man. You guys were on one last night.
Dog, yeah, you know, it was wild. And you know what, for our special guest, none other than our brother, Matthew Broder.
Let's go, boys!
What up,
Let's go! Jared Goff! Jared Goff! Jared Goff! Feels so good to be back, boys.
Matthew Broder.
Wake up, Woodward, baby.
Let's
Matt
go.
Broder.
Bro,
Matt Broder. Matt Broder. Thank you.
Victory Friday again? Again? Also, go blue flannel?
Go Blue.
Go Blue,
Go
baby. We haven't celebrated it
So
yet,
many
brother.
victories.
Let's go. Hey, go Blue Summer.
Go
Yes.
blue
Hey,
summer?
let's
Yes.
go.
Yes, let's go.
Hey, Dusty May getting his first Big Ten win. So many victories.
Dusty, baby?
Let's go. What a way to open up this Victory Friday show, man. I am so pumped up. I know, like you said, we got a lot on the docket today for these Lions, but just to talk about Aaron Glenn briefly before we get into the rest of this thing, when you look at what he did, right, Josh Jacobs, he had a very impactful day with those 3 touchdowns. When you lose an Ali McNeil in the middle of that line, it's going to make the already depleted, it's going to make things a little bit more difficult to hold a guy like Josh Jacobs in check with the short yardage. They did hold him under 100 yards on the day. He had 66 yards on 18 carries, under 4 yards a carry as well, which I think is very, very effective. And with Jordan Love, he was 12 of 20, 206 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the guy that I believed was going to go out there. And in last year's game at Ford Field, Jordan Love was the difference maker for the Packers. This year, he just wasn't that. And instead, out of the 2 quarterbacks, it's Jared Goff.
Absolutely. I mean, and you saw just when you looked at the first half stats, obviously the Lions had a 17-7 lead, but I was on with KG at the watch party until the end of halftime, and I happened to notice Jordan Love's stat line at the end of the first half. 3 for 7, 31 yards. And you got to give him some credit because he played a very good second half, but in the first half, he really did a whole lot of nothing. The Packers' 1 touchdown drive was almost all on Josh Jacobs' runs. So yes, Jared Goff absolutely outplayed Jordan Love yesterday.
Absolutely,
for the
man.
second time this season.
Yeah, and he, I believe that, you know, it's a lot of what Jared Goff is going to do to make sure that his stats are there. But what Aaron Glenn did to, in particular, you look across this There's a box score for them, and I'm sorry, Jordan Love's numbers are not good enough for this game if you want to dub. Josh Jacobs with those 3 touchdowns is what's saving that stat line right now, because those are 3 scores, and we are not going to sneeze at that. But keeping him in check between those 20s, that helps so much. And then when you go down the list here, where's my fantasy receiver? Oh, Goose Egg. Oh, really, Jaden Reed? Okay, cool, Jaden Reed. I'll take that as well. Because this Lions defense, man, they put them in a body bag, even when they were put in some tough spots. You know, they were met a couple times with the short field. And you talk about downing injuries. I'm going to continue to stress that. And losing Ali McNeil in this very game, and you still go out there and you find a way to say your stars are really not going to be stars in this game.
With all due respect to the Lions defense and to Aaron Glenn, if you would have told me before the game that Jaden Reed was going to have 0 catches for 0 yards, I would have said that you were smoking crack. Smoke this crack with me, bro. Shout out Wolf of Wall Street. But no, you have to give credit where credit is due. Christian Watson had a very good game, but one of his catches, he fumbled. Shout out Carlton Davis and David Long. So, Christian Watson, he made that really nice play on that deep ball that you have to give him credit for that. That's what he does best. But even the one really impactful receiver for the Packers, he made one of the costliest plays for his team on the game. So, shout out to the Lions defense. The Packers, they did score 31 points, but that's a little bit misleading. I thought the Lions defense, given all the injuries, given Ali McNeil missing the whole freaking second half, along with everything else, did their job.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, even with that long pass, as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, the pressure, the coverage, it looked like a mistake. And you know what? It didn't happen at all the rest of the game. This is a game that kind of, to me, emblemized this, not just the notion of grit, not just the notion of next man up, not just the notion of playing above, you know, even that talent level, because the Packers, man, their defensive line, their scheme, it came ready to play. But this squad, man, they just played to the level of expectation. Dan Campbell does not care about what players are out, what players are in. They have a goal in mind, and right now they are just trucking through. That win last night to me was very, very impressive. Very, very. You sweep the Packers. Yeah. You clinch a playoff spot. You get that much closer to locking up the NFC North, because think about how that looks now. The Packers, when I was looking at the final record, it's 12-1 record for the Lions, 9-4 for the Packers.
They're done.
That's what I'm saying. Man, so much happened in that game last night. So much.
So much happened in that game. And to put a bow on this whole FTP thing, I want to give credit to the Packers in terms of that they're a really good football team. Against the rest of the NFL, they are 9-2. But against the Lions, they are 0-2. Mm-hmm. Xavier McKinney has been one of the best defensive players in the entire NFL against every other team. And I'm not necessarily saying he's played bad against the Lions. He just hasn't really impacted the games in any tangible way, and they're 0-2. Matt LaFleur is one of the better coaches, certainly one of the better offensive minds in the NFL against every other team. But, I mean, the Packers are 9-2 against every other team, 0-2 against the Lions. And Matt LaFleur, there's just something about playing the Lions that turns him into a baby, honestly, on the sideline. Always crying, always whining. That terrible challenge call that cost him a timeout, which really cost them an opportunity to go down the field after the Lions scored to make it 17-7. He crashed out, man.
Just anxiety.
He was fighting a fan before the game.
It's like, what?
You're Matt freaking LaFleur.
Then justified it in the post-game press conference.
Handle your business, man.
Bro. Exactly.
He's crashing out.
Have your team focus on the object at hand, because you know what? Though you guys are missing a couple people, I'm sorry, bro. You guys rolled into town, and we keep talking about half the starters that are out on defense for the Detroit Lions from the start of the season, and then you have to re-roll that list because the guys filling in for them are out. And then they had to roll in with new guys. You got Quan Alexander, Jamal Adams out there like, where are we supposed to be? But we'll definitely make sure that we bring the boom. And that to me was crazy. How many times did we hear the broadcast say, oh, the new guys are trying to figure out what to be on the field, and they can see it. And we still beat you. People are going to say, oh, it was only a 3-point win. I thought you guys said this and that. Right. We lost to Ali McNeil in the middle of the game, and we still beat you.
You still won.
We still won, man.
And I promise you, the numbers and the circumstances that I'm going to give you a couple seconds from now will really highlight just all you can do is laugh.
Shout out Jack Campbell.
All you can do is laugh. They just continue to win these games.
Hey, listen, you want to know where the best pregame Lions party at? Every single home game is located in the heart of the city, right in the middle of the action. Detroit's very own second best bar, located at 42 Watson Street for the ultimate fan experience. Listen, you get to enjoy a little smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show. Only a second best bar. Come get some.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at WoodwardSports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Are you overdue for a new car? Beat the holiday rush and get an amazing deal from Les Stanford Chevrolet. Right now with the Blazer EV2LT with all-wheel drive is only $149 per month, or check out the Equinox EV-LT for only $169 per month. Go to Les Stanford today or check on the QR code on the screen and check out our massive inventory. Don't forget Les Stanford has Cadillac, Buick, and GMC as well. Les Stanford in Dearborn and Ferndale, LesStanford.com.
So the so-called disrespect was kind of known by you guys before this game. You guys talked about it in the locker room.
Yeah, and then their players, they were coming out. I mean, one of their players said something about Kirby. Like, we don't tolerate that. And one thing about it, Kirby, my brother, I'm always have his back. So I mean, even before the game, if you go back and watch it, Kirby, the dude said something to him. Kirby had to say something to him. I'm right there with him, like 10 toes right behind you. Whatever he on, I'm on. That's my brother. And that's the reason why we go out there and play the way we play.
You say anything to those guys after the game when you're walking up the field?
I can't tell you what I said.
Yeah?
I can't tell you what I said.
Can you give me a hint?
Nah.
Thanks, Terry.
What up, Hey, look, brother, that gets me fired up. Shout out to Terran Arnold. I did not believe that was a flag in the end zone either, but whatever. He made up for it, and I thought he had a really, really good game. But it was awesome to hear him talk about being there for his brothers, having each other's backs. We don't got to tell you what's said around here. We just go out there and we handle business, and guess what? Another victory. Just like we do with our brother, Matthew Broder. I just need your reaction on this Detroit Lions victory, bro. We celebrating with you in studio for a little bit, and I'm glad to have you here, man.
Yeah, bro, it was a special win for this team, considering all the circumstances surrounding the game with the injuries, how the NFC North is shaping up. But, man, they showed up again in prime time. That's 9-2 under Dan Campbell. They knew going in. This is how you can tell they're coached well. They were so prepared for this game, knowing where their weaknesses were. We got to win it with offense. We got to win it going for it on fourth down. They were 4 for 5 on fourth down. This game, and Neil says it a lot, it's about scoring touchdowns, not field goals. Man, the Packers were 4 for 4. 4 for 4 in the red zone until their final offensive drive where that defense musters up something without a lean. I don't even think Brian Branch was on the field during that time, but they held him to a field goal. And then, once they get that ball on offense, once Goff and that offensive line and the run game, once they get it on offense, they're not giving the ball back. It was a special game to me. Special coaching by Aaron Glenn, special coaching by Dan Campbell. And, man, those boys came to play.
Absolutely, man. It's just that simple. Because it's the same recipe we've continued to see all season long. It's just been made that much more impressive because it's like whoever they put in there, the same end result continues to be what happens. Whether these guys are having an individual impact of an Aiden Hutchinson or not, the system that they have in place, the coaches that they have in place. Because, listen, that to me is a coaching masterclass. They're down so many players, and you're still able to go out there in a primetime slot and come away with a big win over a division rival. That to me, and like you said, to go out there and make sure both defensively you can get the drive of the game and offensively you can get the drive of the game to put the Packers away in the fourth quarter, and they weren't able to do that either way.
Yeah, give me 20 more seconds, Flannel, because that defense, while they gave
20 minutes.
No, I actually got to go. But that defense, they gave up 31 points, but 2 of those touchdowns were on short fields. It was after the Goff interception, and it was after what was the fourth down attempt on their own 30-yard line. Those are 2 of the touchdowns. So to think of how well that defense played, the pressure that they were able to get, led by Pat O'Connor, I'm so impressed with AG and that defense. It is still Super Bowl or bust. Let's freaking go.
Yeah, let's go. When you talk about Dan Campbell and those fourth downs, it's awesome to see the fact that last night it worked in combination. We thought, Jake Bates solves a lot of the fourth down issues, and last night it was the battery of we're going for it on fourth down, and then we're bringing in Jake Bates, and it's cool to see that Dan Campbell is not going to lose who he is, because in my opinion, it did help them win the game. I agree with you. I would have rather them have done a different play call. I'm not against them doing the fourth down call.
On the one they missed.
Yeah. I just would have a different play call. There were things that were working for them all night that probably would have been better, but I get it. Because if you catch the Packers sleeping in that moment on that toss with the way that our backs can utilize speed, then I understand what they were trying to do. But I'm glad that the Lions don't really play around too much. It's like they don't play around with their food. If it didn't work, they get right back to business. They corrected on mistakes. Even Jared Goff, after the interception, was like, we're going to correct on these mistakes. And with those fourth downs, listening to the players, Jared Goff and others as well, like even the defense, certain players on the defense were saying, you know what? Yeah, when we were in the pregame, we heard Dan Campbell, Coach Campbell saying, we're going for it every fourth down. You already know this, that, and the other. The defense was like, yeah, because that's giving us confidence. He's saying he knows we can go out there and make the stop if something doesn't happen. Or he knows that we can go out there and minimize the effects of if the team doesn't make it go. And then you listen to guys like Jared Goff speak on. He said, this gives us a lot of confidence that our coach believes in us the way that he does. And so those fourth downs to us, we look at them and we might get up and down based on how the flow of the game is going. But Dan Campbell has his pulse on this team, and he understands exactly the makeup of these guys and how these decisions affect the team on the field and between the ears as well. And that's why when I hear them talk about it is when it's something we should talk about as well when we talk about those fourth down calls.
There's a theme to this show, and the theme is that it's not always going to work, but it's going to work more often than it doesn't. The elephant in the room, of course, one of the fourth downs they missed, and it led to a short field Packers touchdown drive. We get it. It didn't work out in their favor. I didn't like the play call of an outside toss to a Jahmyr Gibbs. That's all well and good. Mm-hmm. However, the fourth down conversions are really what won you these games. And I'm not even saying that I necessarily agreed with every single time that they went for it. The one at the end, my heart was in my throat, I will say that. But a couple times in the red zone on that final drive before the half, in which they were able to take all of the time off of the clock and ultimately end it with a touchdown. It was a fourth down touchdown pass to Jahmyr Gibbs. You love to see it. When the Lions were down 21-17 and driving down the field, that was another one where they got to fourth down at, I believe, the 2 or 3 yard line, and they decided to go for it. And if they miss that, they give the ball right back to the Packers down by 4, but they got it. It was a pass from Jared Goff to Tim Patrick, and of course to end the game. This was the one that I was a little bit like, oh, I don't know if they should do that. And on that handoff to David Montgomery, Jared Goff trips. And I'm just like,
my heart just stopped. But he's just sitting there like that. I was about to, I'm telling you. My heart was like, oh my word, because do you know how easy it is for that to just be a fumble?
Yes.
And then it's just, even if we recover the fumble and minimize the damage, it doesn't matter. It's Packers ball. But it's like, but we've seen things continue to work out like this for the Lions. I believe teams that go out there with the intent to control their destiny, things go their way like this more times than not.
And you love to see it, and obviously I'm going to say in hindsight that, I love the call all along, even though I was a little bit iffy about it because it worked. But that's where my evolution of pretty much trust Dan Campbell no matter what is continuing to come into fruition, and to trust this team no matter what because they continue to win despite the injuries piling up. They didn't want to give the ball back to Green Bay with 40 seconds left. You never know what could happen. What if Green Bay goes down the field, ties the game, and wins the coin toss and just drives right down the field and wins the game? They wanted to take all the time off and kick the field goal with no time on the clock.
Yep, exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was about to say, I saw Emmanuel out there talking about this was the wrong decision. You just kick it and just blah, blah, blah. No, you don't. No, you don't, bro. Dan Campbell, that was masterful. And if other coaches in this league did that of Revere, then they would be out there talking about, this would be all across national media, just how brilliant of a coach this was and how much trust he had in his team and dialed up the right plays and made sure not to give the ball back to Jordan Love. Because as much as we want to talk about what he did or didn't do, if he gets the ball back, those stats would probably look a little bit better. As those games go on, you don't just hold the coverage that you have all game, and they did put up 31 points. Acho was trying to say that he didn't believe that they would be able to do much in those 30 or so seconds. And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? They didn't get the ball back. Dan Campbell, he called his shot. He punched the ticket. It worked out. What are you talking about? And this has been a part of his identity. This is why I'm glad that as new players have come in, they haven't shied away from who they're going to be, because what about when some of those players come back as they get a little bit closer to playoffs? Because that's the crazy thing we're talking about right now. Like, picture that when you get maybe 3, 4, 5 of these players back that are injured right now as you're approaching the playoff time, and you're beating teams right now that are trying. You're beating teams right now that are talking the smack. You're beating teams right now that are talking junk to you on the field. Like my man Tucker Kraft trying to talk. He tried to talk, and then Kirby walked up to him, and you see him, he looking all at the cameras, and you just walking to the tunnel and not say nothing. I know, because you don't want to. Wait, look, Rock'em Sock'em, you're not messing with Kirby Joseph.
No, you're
just
not.
Straight up, man.
And
so I love the identity of this
I
team,
will
man.
say this. At the very least, I understand that it made Tucker Kraft look soft, that he just kind of cowered away to his locker room. But you can also say that he accepted that his team took the L and knew that there was nothing that he could say. And Tucker Kraft, he made some plays. Shout out to him, but they still got the L. And that's what you ultimately love
talk
to
that
see.
way, you got to get the dub.
You got to get the
reckless.
win.
They were talking
Xavier
reckless.
McKinney, you got to get the win, and they didn't.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
After the game, to be all, he don't even really talk like that on the field. I don't even know, man. I don't know. And we're like, okay. And shout out to Jeff Rieger as well for some of those clips. Want to make sure that we give out proper credit.
Definitely shout out to Jeff Rieger. And Carlton Davis actually has something to say as well, too. Shout
go
out
ahead and
to
play that.
Jeff Rieger for this as well.
Hey, Carlton, Tyrion was kind of saying that you guys felt disrespected as a defense before this game. Did you? Because nobody thought you could play?
They was, I don't know, they was saying craziness like
4 times, or 5 times on 4th down. Gave them chance after chance to get off the field. They couldn't do it.
No, we're not trying to humiliate them. That's just how we play ball. Like, Coach said it before the game. He said we're going for all the 4th and 1s, 4th and short. That's what we about to do. And it's like, yeah, do it, Coach, because if y'all don't get it, we're going to get back on the field and play ball.
Dog, hold on, man.
We coming back to play ball.
I love everything that he was saying there. Everything that he was saying. And just hearing him talk about the fact that they did take those comments personal. So a lot of times we will deliberate things here. And it's like, well, no, the Lions ain't focused on that. Listen, they're one of these weird teams that can take everything, all of the different ingredients, put it in the blender, have the smoothie, drink it, and it's their fuel. Other teams, they might get knocked off with that, so they got to focus their everything on just that game. But these Lions players was like, we came out here taking it personal. Then they stopped talking. They took the L. Like, I don't know what's going on. Y'all chirped all week. We showed up BTA style. We was looking for you guys, and all of a sudden, all of the chirping is gone. And then you also heard Carlton Davis talk about the belief that the coach had in the team. To hear him say, yeah, we for the 4th down calls, go for it. And it's like, bro, you on the defense. He's like, look, that's Those are the things that I love about this team. And when you talk about Carlton Davis, somebody who has Super Bowl winning experience, that's when I love to hear him talking that way, because you need that type of mentality, especially while you have some guys down. You need everybody on this team to be doing exactly what we're saying. Who is this guy playing above his head? Well, when I see the makeup of the leaders on this squad, when I see the makeup of these coaches, that's when I'm not surprised at what we see all of these players doing to try and step up and keep this team so far. What is this now? How many games in a row? Is this 11 wins?
11 wins in a row.
11 wins in a row.
11 wins in a row for the National Football League. And to respond to, I'll tell you what, if anybody actually said that Jordan Love was going to throw for 430 yards, you're a moron. You're an absolute moron, because even before the game, I knew, and I think we all knew, that was a matchup that didn't necessarily favor the Packers. They were without Romeo Doubs, and the Lions secondary was completely healthy. And you know what? As I usually do, credit where credit is due. They made some plays. The Packers offense came alive in the second half. Like I said, Christian Watson with that deep ball. Jordan Love, he didn't turn the football over. It was his receiver, Christian Watson, while having a good game, also had one of the worst plays of the game. But nobody really with a brain thought that Jordan Love was going to throw for 430 yards. So part of me wonders if Carlton Davis is manufacturing that to get himself fired up. But you know what? There are people, though, who have really propped up Jordan Love, and I don't necessarily blame them. He's a really, really good quarterback, but they're putting him in conversations that he hasn't earned quite yet.
It's just, and I'm about to go to you real quick, JB Smooth, but we sat here all week and talked about the impact of this bulletin board material from the Packers and from other teams, and how do the Lions utilize this. To know that this team is well coached, well prepared, and they are literally going to take every aspect of fuel that you leave out there and use it. It's like, stop talking to them. Seriously, stop talking to them now at this point in time. I hope people have learned their lessons, because all these teams are doing is crying after the games and yapping before the L. And I just like, listen, learn. Carlton Davis isn't here right now. I get it with the trade and everything, but he was like, I wanted to come here. I was excited to be here. You listen to all of these players that are vets from teams that had aspirations prior, or that did go on playoff runs, or that were with organizations that other people say, you know what, that's a pretty decent organization. They're all talking about what this Detroit Lions team is right now, and it's not the same one that you could just talk about and think, you know what, we're going to come into your city and boss up. I remember the days of Jared Allen just talking before the games. And then coming here and the Vikings with houses, and there's nothing we could do. Talk about, every time I go to Detroit, it's brown. It's brown. You can't talk about that right now. Brown snow everywhere is what he talked about. Aaron Rodgers talking every time before he wants to come to Detroit. You just can't do that. You know what happened this week? Aaron Rodgers had to talk this week about, man, you know, that organization in Detroit is so good. You know, they just changed so much, man. It's amazing what they're doing. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Not the same Lions that Aaron Rodgers used to terrorize back in the day. But you know what? Teams, as I said before the game, I don't know why the Packers really talked any smack before the game, because you're just motivating the Lions.
You see that they took it personally.
You're just motivating them.
They said, bro,
for no reason.
They was like, bro, we heard the talk all week. We heard the pregame chatter. We heard stuff that came out of their locker room. Wait, bro, y'all hearing what they said in their locker room during the week? That's just like, the Lions were dialed in, bro. They were taking every aspect of motivation they could, and they absolutely didn't waste a drop. What up, though, JB Smooth?
Well, speaking of Jordan Love, because you guys brought that up as well, too, how you thought no one thought he was going to pass for 400 yards. I do have a buddy of mine, and no, I'm not talking about easy, everybody, but I do have a buddy of mine who was trying to convince me that Jordan Love was going to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah.
What?
Oh, you did? Okay. No.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had a buddy that told me that, yes, Jordan Love was going to throw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns yesterday. And
sometimes
you see what happened.
I feel like Jared Goff battles narratives more than people acknowledge the fact that he's actually winning on the field. Everybody, it's always about what these other quarterbacks are going to do, and we've seen some decent quarterbacks this season against Jared Goff, who people told me, hey, listen, I don't even know how the Lions defense is going to handle these guys. And all of a sudden, they always leave here looking a lot more pedestrian than Jared Goff.
Hey, and I'll tell you what, if you guys want to have some good laughs, you can laugh with me, because when I tell you just how the Lions have been winning games and how they won last night, you just have to throw your hands up and just enjoy the ride. But first, JB, tell us about New Holland.
Oh, definitely. I got you.
And
New
merch.
Holland Brewing Company. I know the Tangerine Space Machine, and also the new long drink as well too. We're flowing very nicely at the watch party and at the pregame show with the heavyweights as well too. Hopefully Spencer and Easy got home pretty safe as well, because I was watching that as well too. They looked a little smashed, but you can't go wrong with that Tangerine Space Machine, the new easy drinking IPA that is out of this world. It's smooth, it's juicy with refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon with the Tangerine Space Machine. Grab yourself a case of this intergalactic haze of goodness, and this is the official beer of outer space. It is on tap on the moon right now. Go and grab yourself a case today, and while you're doing that, hop online and get some new merch from WSN as well too. WoodwardSports.com. Click on that shop tab. We are dropping new designs every single week for you. Just make sure that you get that civilian 16, because you know Jared Goff is just a civilian out there playing football. Why would you want anyone else? But head over to WoodwardSports.com. Click on that shop tab. Get swagged out.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Fitness that fits your budget. They have 50 plus Metro Detroit locations. If you need to get in shape for the holiday season, for the new year, for next summer, because Beachbody season will be here before you know it, you got to get the cheapest membership you can get for the best gym at Planet Fitness. They have memberships for $15 a month if you just want to go to your home Planet Fitness and get jacked, or you can upgrade to the Black Card, where you can get all kinds of amenities, with the most enticing one to me being able to go to any Planet Fitness across the United States. So whether you're traveling, whether you're just at a different part of town where you normally are, you can go over to that Planet Fitness, which is more convenient to you as well. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Hey, what up, though, people? And we are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. Thank you guys for choosing to kick off the day with the WUW Crew. We're down a few members, man, because yesterday was one of our longest days in broadcast history for Woodward Sports. We started early in the morning with Woodward and Maine, and we ended that pregame show. It's crazy, man, with that battery starting with Woodward and Maine, and then that pregame show didn't get home last night until about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, bro. So it's like, you know what? But for Lions, for Woodward Sports, for what the season means, it's epic to be a part of this thing as the Lions continue to against all odds. Hey, you know what? We're going to be right there trying to do the same. And they did. You know what? It's not always perfect for the Lions, but they continue to get the job done against all odds. We've had Victory Monday shows, Victory Tuesday shows, Victory Friday shows, because they just keep winning and they keep busting narratives. This was a game that a lot of people who believed in the Lions prior thought, you know what? It's just too many injuries for one team to sustain. And then when people saw Aleem McNeil go down, there was a lot of people who said, you know what? This is it right here. This is it right here. But it wasn't. And they continue. Hey, think about it. A running back put up 3 touchdowns against them. Yeah. They still won this game. This was a game where a team put up 31 points against them. They still won this game despite who all is still out. Like, that's what I'm saying. And you talk about these short weeks and all of this type of stuff going on for the Lions. These recipes generally spell a loss. They generally spell a trap game. They generally spell, you know what? And I think that's why the Packers were so confident. They were looking at who wasn't there, and I believe they forgot the heart of who the Lions were.
Man, and everything that you said, the whole against all odds, I promise you it's even worse than that. Or better if you're a Lions fan. Definitely worse if you're a Packers fan. And before I get to the numbers I'm about to give, shout out our boy Easy from the Woodward Heavyweights. I appreciate you for being involved in our chat and just being engaged. I certainly will return the favor from 5 to 7 p.m. and you all should too when you watch the Woodward Heavyweights.
You know what? Just real quick, shout out to the Woodward Heavyweights. Yeah. You guys crushed the pregame at second best, and we do every single week, man. There's so many talented and so many good people here, and I'm glad for even the new people on their way in, like Summer. We're gonna hear from her as well. Go get your thoughts more on the win in a little bit.
Okay.
But shout out to the Heavyweights. You guys absolutely crushed it. Looking at the content, you know, we look at this from multiple sides. We're hosts, and then we all do multiple things from behind the scenes. You guys crushed it, man. Easy and Spinny. Shout out to you guys.
And I just have to remind you guys, and you guys know, I'm just doing it for effect. This wasn't the Jaguars. This wasn't the Titans. This was the Green Bay Packers who had dreams of potentially winning this game and stealing this division from under the Lions. They're 9-2 against the rest of the NFL and 0-2 against the Lions. This is a good team that the Lions did this to. But think about this. And this has been a theme for a lot of their season because their injury luck has been the worst I've ever seen. You came into the game, and you being the Detroit Lions, with 16 key contributors that you expected to really be a big part of this team at the beginning of the season out, either on IR or out for this game. You gave up 24 second-half points to the Packers. You gave up 3 rushing touchdowns to Josh Jacobs. Jared Goff threw a really bad interception in the second half, and the Lions had a bad turnover on downs in the second half. And oh, by the way, it gets even better. Listen to these names who were playing out there for the Lions defense. Imagine this happening before week 1 of the season. You had Al-Qadim Muhammad. You had Miles Adams. Who the fook is that guy? With all due respect, I think we were all thinking the same thing. You had Trevor Nowatzki. You had Quan Alexander. You had Jamal Adams. You had Ezekiel Turner. You had Mitchell Agude. You had Pat O'Connor. You had David Long. You had Broderick Martin. And you had Jonah Williams. All of that happened. Everything that I just mentioned all in tandem, and the Lions still won. All you could do is just laugh and point and laugh at the Packers. They still won despite all of that. But they've continued, but it's been a theme of this season. They won the Texans game despite Jared Goff throwing 5 interceptions. They won the Bears game despite giving up 20 second-half points. They won the Vikings game despite the Vikings having the ball with under 4 minutes up by 1 with a chance to salt the game away. And they won the Rams game despite it needing to go to overtime. That's what winning teams do. That's what elite organizations do. It doesn't matter what goes against them. It doesn't matter who's there. It doesn't matter who needs to step up, whether it's Miles Adams, whether it's Pat O'Connor, whether it's my mailman. It just doesn't matter. They continue to get the job done. Yeah. They're probably going to be my mailman in the next game.
And you know what I love? You know what I love about this team as well, especially with Jared Goff at the quarterback? When you look at their touchdown drives, 70 yards, 70 yards, 70 yards. It doesn't matter when it is. This team, when they're going, you cannot stop them. And to know that you could depend on this team, because let's not even look at the touchdown drive. Let's look at the game-winning field goal drive. That's where I'm just like, you know what? How do you control or keep this team down? Because we talked about the fact that the offense was going to have to play a major role in this game to pick up the defense. So where I believe that the defense played a good game, even though you gave up 31 points, we know that the Packers had the short fields, there was a couple 30-yard drives because of the fourth down call and then because of the interception. Both of those, you could call them turnovers. One a turnover on down and one interception from Jared Goff, which aided them because in a short field, the defense is getting right back on the field. The Packers turned up the heat and the speed a little bit, and they caught us off kilter on one of those touchdowns. And so it's like, you know, when I look at this thing overall, I thought that the Lions had a masterful game plan on defense and offensively, to know that you can rely on this squad to get you 3, 4, 5, 70-yard drives in a game against your rival, who, if they win that game, think about how much better their record is looking this morning. Think about how the narratives change about what the NFC North is looking like But instead, I just wasn't worried. We keep talking about this every week. You put the ball in Jared Goff's hands to end the game. I want that every single time. I will bet on that every single time. The IQ that he has, the way that he manages the situations, and just in particular with the touchdowns. Like, Amon-Ra St. Brown was wide open, but it was like, I just want to get this. I just want to get Tim Patrick the touchdown because your linebackers stink today. It was just like, I'm like, did you see the play? Amon-Ra leaked out to the right. I'm like, he could just, and he just looked. The linebacker looked 1 second. Jared Goff was just like, boom, right in your face. Touchdown. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
It is absolutely beautiful. And the thing I forgot to mention, imagine if I told you before the game that both Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery would have under 4 yards per carry, and that alone would happen and the Lions would still win. They just continue to find a way. And the comforting thing for me, and I think the comforting thing for a lot of fans, we know that not all of the guys who are currently on IR, not all the guys who were just out for this game are going to be out for the season. You're going to get some of these guys back, certainly the Reeders and the Onzariques of the world and the Josh Pascals. We know as fans that if the Lions had even a normal injury situation where even half of the guys on IR were playing, that the Lions would be killing these fools. And that's why a 3-point win, any way that you can get them, any way that you can get a win in the National Football League, especially against a division rival who came in 9-3, you couldn't ask for more. It's survive and advance, and they are continuing to survive and thrive.
And it's a game that generally I would sweat in a little bit more than I normally did last night, because I even with the 4th down call where they tossed it wide, and I was just like, man, that's not the call that I would have wanted. But you're looking at the time that's left on the clock. You look at the trends that Dan Campbell and his team has put out there on film already and been very, very successful with, and you realize Dan Campbell, he made a bet on this team to say, you know what, I know, like Carlton Davis said, I know that our defense will pick us up, and I do believe that our offense, when it's time to get it done, we'll get it done. There's something different about winning time, and this team has proven that they can get it done. Where it encourages me the most is this. We saw an NFC championship game, a free fall that they just couldn't quite seem to stop. And so this time, we've seen them get popped in the mouth a couple times. But you know what we've seen them do? We've seen them resiliently respond while they're still down players. Talk about going into the playoffs now, knowing that we don't have to rely on any aspect of excuses. We know that any field we step on, our coaches are going to have us ready. The level that we work to, we're going to be ready. And they see the results in front of them, man. They see it right in front of them. And I want to make sure we give some attention to some of these super chats.
Yes.
Burn $5 super chats. They were trying to call us frauds who had already peaked. The media was trying to put us in a hole and bury the Lions at 11-1. Justin from North Carolina, $2 super chat. Patrick, man.
That's
Patrick was on one last night. He was on one. Hey, what up, though? I gotta call you intern Summer. I know you're gonna. Listen, you're gonna shed the label fast. I already know that you're a pro's pro.
Yes,
but
thank you so much.
Talk to me about this Detroit Lions victory, man. Your high moments. Talk to me about your player of the game. Just everything about this, man. It's a victory show. Take it away for the people.
Victory Friday.
Let's go.
Let me just start off by saying this. Yesterday was my favorite game of the season so far. So many great things from the Detroit Lions, and they've proven week after week that they can get it done. And as far as my player of the game, I got to give that to Tim Patrick. Not 1, but 2 touchdowns, and it's been since 2021 since he's actually scored. So I think that was like the highlight of the game. But it's so many takeaways we can.
You dropped stats on man. Flannel was like,
so many takeaways.
I love it. I'm sorry.
But yeah, under Dan, they're unstoppable.
Absolutely. And that's the confidence that I've been having. I told you guys, like, you know what? This was a season where we say things like, yeah, our team they're going to do it. When I did that last year, and you and I still sat here, watched that first Packers game last season, like, oh my gosh. And then when they just started punching them, like, bang, 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 we looked like, Flannel, what are they doing? We were like, we don't know. You were like, I'm still nervous, though. And this year, they could be down in the game, and I'm still like, kick back. I'm laid back. Like you said, Summer, I believe in Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
I believe in this identity of the team. Mm-hmm. Well, out of all the X's and O's, out of an individual type of a player that can emblemise those things, when you start to lose those players and you still see the culture still there, you still see this team stepping up, you still see that next man up doesn't just mean that there's a player there. We know covering the Pistons, because you cover the Pistons. Next man up over there wasn't the same thing. You lose a Cade Cunningham, it's bleak. But you losing Aiden Hutchinson, who we're talking about was looking like the best defensive player in the year, and this team is still undefeated. We want Aiden back, and it's going to be amazing when he does. But wow, to what Dan Campbell's been able to do.
Just a gritty performance all around.
Hey, that's a word, man. That is a word. JB Smooth.
What's up?
You fired up in there, brother?
Oh, of course, man. Come on now. Like, even though it's a hectic Friday, like, I'm still fired up over here. That was an amazing win. If I could give out my player of the game, it's got to go to Tim Patrick once again. But an unsung hero, if I could give another one out there, it's got to be Pat O'Connor. I'm just saying that first half would have been completely different if you didn't have him in the middle just disrupting that Packers offensive line right there, getting to Jordan Love as fast as he can, making him move out of the pocket. And, even though that flag wasn't called for Zadarius Big Z out there from, like, smacking Jordan Love over the helmet.
What
but
flag?
Still. Yeah, what flag? What flag? I didn't see a flag either. But just getting there and disrupting just their flow that the Packers had that first half, it doesn't go unnoticed. I just want him to know that Pat O'Connor, you were out there balling, bro.
Oh, hey. Pat O'Connor made a difference.
Yeah, Pat O'Connor, there was a couple players in the game, like you said, that sometimes were like, who? Some of them they've made an impact other times during the season, and it's still like, oh, who is that? Oh, okay, that's that guy. It's wild to see them be able to just kind of do this right now. We're not playing that wasn't the Bears who we were playing last night. That wasn't a weak opponent in the NFL last night.
Yeah.
This was a primetime game in which people were like, you know what? If the Lions were healthy, we probably wouldn't be disrespecting them like this. But since they aren't healthy, it makes it a little easier for us to say, you know what? We think the Packers are going to get it done. And to see the Lions still go out there, I can't stress this enough, man. It was an incredible win. Just as a Lions fan, this was against the Packers in our building. Like, when you think back to some of the things we've had to endure in our own building with the Packers, I am going to love and love and love this one. I like what Summer said. This one is feeling like probably my favorite victory of the season. Shout out to Real K77 with the $9.99 super chat. That's just it. It's just $9.99. And 810 Ray, Summer is a breath of fresh air from these ugly dudes. LOL. Love all you guys. Let's ride.
Well, what's my keyword? There is one woman that does not that thinks I'm pretty handsome, and got one of these to prove it.
Yeah.
So that's there we go. But
I feel you. I got listen, man. 4 of them kids. I took out a mortgage on 4 of them kids, man.
4 of them kids. I
4
mean,
of them things.
There's a woman that thinks Kool-Aid's handsome enough to procreate with them 4 times. So you guys can hey, and JB is spoken for as well. So don't know why I felt the need to defend myself so much, because I understand your sentiment. That's a for sure. But,
I love it, bro.
But
I love it.
Here, when we get back, we got to talk about Jared Goff, because he, just as most things last night, it wasn't all perfect, but it was perfect when it needed to be. That is for sure. But it's always perfect all of the time.
Freddie Felt said big musket energy.
Hey, there we go.
Bang.
Woodward and Maine. Shout out Freddie Felt. Hey, Detroit, on game day, wake up with Woodward and Maine, your source for all the insider information on the defending NFC North champions, your Detroit Lions, with insight from Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster and rising star Matt Roeder. Get ready to Detroit every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. Woodward and Maine, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. And then you've got to watch the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame show, hosted by these extraordinary gentlemen right there. Hey, JB came through in KG's absence, and that was certainly all of us watching the Lions last night. It's the New Holland Brewing Company pregame show. Every game day, Neil Rule and Sean Baligian bring you the best Lions pregame show. Although last night it was the Woodward heavyweights who did a phenomenal job in their stead. Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon on Woodward Sports, live at Second Best Bar in Detroit. The latest injury reports, fantasy sit and starts, and the inside scoop on your Detroit Lions. Join us for every Sunday home games live at Second Best Bar in Detroit, your official guide to Lions game day on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, and Les Stanford Chevrolet.
This holiday season, recharge with the Planet Fitness Black Card for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. So instead of fighting a stranger over a T-Rex, bring a friend for free and work out on the TRX. Instead of freezing in line for a deal, relax with some hydro massage feels. Instead of in-laws in your face.
Did you hear the owl?
Get some space at any of our 2,600 locations with the PF Black Card. Just $1 down, $24.99 a month. Deal ends Friday, December 6th.
The The bad boys from the NFL are here. Your 2024 Detroit Lions are the hardest hitting, highest flying, trickiest playing, grittiest team in the NFL.
A dominant team.
Get all your coverage of your favorite team right here in your favorite network. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. With 10-plus years of experience and 24/7 availability, scan the QR code on the screen or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
Hey, KDK Law got your back. Wake up, Woodward, and Woodward Sports has your back. Chat family, I hope you guys got ours. It's a Victory Friday show. Detroit Lions with a 34-31 victory over the Green Bay Packers at home. And honestly, Detroit was electric. They were electric. Hearing it through the broadcast, being around downtown, being at the bars, being at the watch party, Detroit definitely knows they know how to handle business. Whether it's a team on the field or whether it's you fans and you chat family. So going ahead, let's smash the like button. Let's try to set some records today, just like the Detroit Lions are as well. And you know what? Jared Goff in that game last night, just to compare again the two quarterbacks. Jordan Love, 12 of 20, 206 yards, 1 touchdown in the game. He did have a 92.4 quarterback rating and a 111.7 rating overall. QBR and then the rating. And then Jared Goff, 32 of 41, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns. That interception, that darned interception. 90.9 QBR rating and a 109.7 QB rating. And, you know, when you look at Jared Goff and just the way that he managed things for the Detroit Lions on some of their most critical games, the most critical moments in the game, to me, is why I continue to say Jared Goff has to be looked at and viewed a little bit differently. These are big moments, and he did not get pressure cooked. When I do look at Jordan Love, I didn't think he played bad, but I thought that Jared Goff's game was one that did help to elevate the Detroit Lions in this victory over the Green Bay Packers. And I do believe that I heard, and I'm starting to hear some of the national pundits say this as well. They're talking about, well, you know what makes Jared Goff really special and elite is his IQ. You know, it's his mind. It's the way that he's seeing the game. And it's interesting to hear that because I wasn't hearing too many of these narratives even a month ago about Jared Goff. And now we're hearing them because you're right. How many times can you continue to pick against a Jared Goff to try and prop up or to go for, and I get it, a quarterback, whoever. Jordan Love is not a bad quarterback, and I understand the appeal in picking against Jared Goff in that, but I'm sorry. He keeps proving to you all that your favorite quarterback, for whatever reason, can't do anything against Jared Goff.
Well, this was, when we talk about the national narrative being about how his IQ and his smarts and all of that and his decision-making, we all knew that for a long time. So I'm glad that I'm not mad at national media for being a little later to the party than us who are Detroit-based, but at the same time, it's nothing that we didn't already know. And we got to get this out of the way. We know that Jared Goff in the second half threw, I'm just going to call a spade, and then I'm going to do nothing but compliment him the rest of the way. One of the worst interceptions I've ever seen him throw, and it led directly to a Packers touchdown. But what I love about that is, and I love about the way he responded, is that every quarterback who ever exists, whether it's prime Mahomes, whether it's prime Brady, prime Peyton Manning, whether it's prime Joe Montana. I'm not saying Goff is in these guys' class right now, but everybody throws picks at some point. Everybody throws ill-timed picks at some point, no matter what.
Did Jordan Love throw an interception in the first game against the Lions?
He threw a really bad one.
Oh, okay.
He threw a worse one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was just
a worse one.
I was just checking.
Although shout out to him, he did play clean. He played clean in this game. But the point is that after that interception happened, maybe I don't have this 100% right, but I don't recall him even throwing an incomplete pass the rest of the game.
He was perfect in the fourth quarter.
He was perfect in the fourth quarter.
That's what I'm saying.
So for all intents and purposes, he didn't throw an incomplete pass for the rest of the game, and I don't even know if he in reality did, just literally. But yeah, Jared Goff, after that interception, you could tell that he was upset at himself. You could tell that it bothered him. But what he did to respond to that is he made it up to his team. He led a touchdown drive that was culminated in a clutch fourth down pass to Tim Patrick, and then once the Packers retook the lead, he went and led another touchdown drive. So Jared Goff certainly did his job. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, another game in which he had a passer rating over 100. Despite the bad interception, I still think that this was an MVP statement game for Jared Goff.
I definitely do. Like you said, there are going to be things that happen. And even on that pass, as he was making it, to me, it looked like mid-throw, he looked like he wished he could take that back. Because it was just a bad interception, and after that, he was perfect in the fourth quarter of that game. And to me, that is what's telling about who Jared Goff is. Even when you look back at the Texans game, where he had some really bad interceptions, 2 of them, 2 to 3 of them, I could put definitely on him. Another couple of them were just bad luck plays. But when it was winning time, it was on Jared Goff's shoulders, and those are the things. Obviously, Jake Bates' leg as well, but Jared Goff to put them in position as the quarterback. That's what I've come to expect out of Jared Goff. I don't it's no longer faith. I expect it. I know that we used to talk a lot about Matthew Stafford and those fourth quarter comebacks and whatnot. You think about who Jared Goff has been over the last 2.5 seasons of winning football and being a prime reason. Think about how many games we remember where it's been the Detroit Lions either icing the in victory formation because they got a big first down, or they're kicking the field goal, or they got a big touchdown just before kicking it off to the other team for a few seconds to run off. So it's just like Jared Goff is a common denominator with all of these close victories. Sometimes Jake Bates might be the guy that gets the walk-off, but it's always Jared Goff who has to dial up the drive to get them down the field as the leader of this team's offense. And to me, when you continue to do that over and over and over and over and over again, that's elite and special. Our best quarterbacks in the league, only some of those guys do that. Think about that. Only some of those guys do that. A lot of the guys in the league that they want to try and elevate or that they view above Jared Goff, they don't do that. But Jared Goff continues to be one of the main difference makers in the fourth quarters for the Detroit Lions, game after game. That's clutch, and to me, that is part of the definition of being an MVP.
Well, of course, that's the icing on the cake to his MVP case. The fact that when the Lions needed just a field goal drive and to take all the time off the clock, I think all of us felt very confident that Jared Goff was going to get the job done. In my humble opinion, I was just, at that point, I was at Hayes, but I wasn't on. It was Neil and KG. When the Lions were able to hold the Packers to a field goal to where the Packers tied the score with a little less than 5 minutes left, I'm like, Lions are going to go drive down the field and take all the time off the clock. And that's something that just, as a Lions fan my whole life, it's amazing the confidence that I have in this team now versus the lack thereof in previous years. And we certainly don't need to bring that up. It's more to highlight how far they've come. And another thing that I want to highlight as well is that Jared Goff did a phenomenal job of spreading the ball around. Everybody ate last night, even if a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't put the numbers up that we're accustomed to.
Break a record? I believe they said it was historic last night. I think with at least five or six receivers with at least 5 receptions or more in the game.
6 receivers with at least 5 receptions.
That's
You had Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta, Tim Patrick, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and shout out to Sonic and Knuckles, David Montgomery, and Jahmyr Gibbs, putting their mark on the game when they didn't even have their best days on the ground.
That's insane to me because you know what? We talked about this. We talked about this yesterday. You know what we kept hearing? The same thing. Man, that play action of Detroit, they play actioned the Green Bay Packers to death. And they just couldn't keep up with it. And you know what I noticed as well? And I forgot who said it. I think it might have been Sherman. He was like, they didn't really expose too much because what if these teams meet up again? And Carlton Davis, I loved what he said. We'll meet them next year. Hopefully this year. They're not scared. They're not scared. And when you look at that offense, you look how they spread the ball a while. You look at the fact that I didn't see really too many trick plays. I didn't see them really put anything out there. The offense was literally, hey, play action, and running back out the backfield. Play action, Tim Patrick across the middle. Play action, J-Mo across the middle. play action, Amon-Ra across the middle. And it was like, just hey, this is what we do. Copy, paste, repeat, copy, paste, repeat. And to me, I believe that if they meet up with the Packers again in the playoffs, they kept things as vanilla as they could. And they still went out there and put up 34 points on offense.
Still put up 34 points, which is actually above their season average. So you got to give shout out to them. And, man, Neil Rule can just never let anything go, can he?
Oh, boy.
I didn't mean to say that Jared Goff, that was what if I said it was one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen. That's not what I meant. It's one of the worst interceptions that he's thrown this year. That's to clarify. But Neil, I think you're excusing the particular play a little bit too much, but shout out to Jared Goff. He made that one bad play and then came back and did nothing but great things the rest of the game. So we can kumbaya on that, but it certainly wasn't one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen in the NFL. And if I said that, my apologies.
It's incredible, man, to think about how many people are out in the Lions still are just going in and just body bagging teams, man. This is incredible right now. And like I said, that with Jared Goff, he's been one of those guys that epitomizes as well, cleaning up on the mistakes and trying not to have the back-to-back ones. That's what makes the Houston Texans game so uncharacteristic when you see him, but he was still able to go and clean it up. Like, we've seen this team be able to be so resilient in a plethora of ways. Going back to the Bears game where Jared Goff did not have, last year where Jared Goff did not have one of his best days, and they were still able to go in the fourth quarter and put up a couple touchdowns to pull that victory out. And to see them be able to have those types of drives, to see them go and do something that I don't normally see them do, man, they passed it against the LA Rams in the playoffs. Matthew Stafford, all the narratives in Ford Field, they passed it for a first down to salt the game away. We have not seen that. As simple as that sounds, we haven't seen this. When our teams needed to be able to get that extra yard, to have an opportunity to have a Jake Bates be in position, a lot of times we didn't get that. A lot of times when we needed to be able to go and just get that one extra first down, sometimes we didn't get that, and all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers is getting the ball or Brett Favre is getting the ball, depending on how many different eras of football you've seen, and then they're throwing some stupid Hail Mary and they're completing it, and we're walking away like, man, and there were so many seasons, I counted it before, where it was like these types of plays cost us playoff spots, but not anymore, because we have a leader in Jared Goff who, I don't care what it looks like, these other teams in the division, I'm sorry, if you're not saying what I used to say about Aaron Rodgers, about Brett Favre, about some of these other quarterbacks, even Kirk Cousins to a degree, Jared Goff is that guy right now who's at the top of this division as a quarterback, and he is beating everybody's favorite quarterback right now.
Top of the division, top of the NFC, quite frankly, when it comes to quarterbacks. That is for damn sure. But it's the top of the haircut game.
Hey, you know what? Walking in any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today, that to me, that is the start of a good day. It's open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a $20 haircut special, a scalp massage, a hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Hey, listen. Come in, you get treated like a star here. It's the best way, honestly, to kick off your victory show. You get Woodward Sports on. You can be in your Caesar Sportsbook app because now it's just stress-free betting because your Lions already got the victory in hand for the weekend, and you can get your haircut special. Hey, just scan a QR code anywhere on the screen, and you get your coupon today for that $20 haircut special. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. It's wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce. Sports, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
This holiday season, recharge with the Planet Fitness Black Card for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. So instead of fighting a stranger over a T-Rex, bring a friend for free and work out on the TRX. Instead of freezing in line for a deal, relax with some hydro massage feels. Instead of in-laws in your face.
Did you hear the owl?
Get some space at any of our 2,600 locations with the PF Black Card. Just $1 down, $24.99 a month. Deal ends Friday, December 6th.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
The Salvation Army. When you give to the Salvation Army, your donation makes it possible to serve our community's most vulnerable. 24 hours a day, 365. The Salvation Army's Metro Detroit's 2024 Red Kettle Christmas campaign is going on right now. And even though that the goal is very high, set at $7 million, anything that you can give is always helpful. Christmas campaign going on. Contributes will help provide love beyond just Christmas. Individuals in need of food, shelter, and just compassion. Scan that QR code on screen, or if you want to donate, you can always go online to donate.sagreatlakes.org to donate today.
And what did I tell you, Cal? I told you if we didn't make it back in time for Christmas, I was gonna whoop your ass, didn't I? Dude, come on. Well, now you're gonna get it, motherfucker. That's right. You and me. Right now. We're having it out. Let's go. Come on. Come on.
Detroit Lions do it again. They clinch a playoff spot with this victory over the Packers, man. You can't write it any better than that. Jake Bates, game winner. Bye-bye, Green Bay. Get out of my city. You guys got swept. Oh, my gosh, man. Does it feel so good? This Victory Friday show. Detroit Lions 34-31 victory over the rival Green Bay Packers at Ford Field. We sweep them for the series. We clinch a playoff spot. We move to 12-1. We take another step towards clinching the NFC North and towards clinching the NFC's number one seed, which I do believe for this squad is going to be very, very, very vital for them to get that first week bye in the playoffs. And you know what, Flannel?
Yes.
I believe that if you would ask a lot of people, is it a safe bet that the Detroit Lions would give up 100 yards rushing for the game? I'm not even saying 100-yard rushing running back, because I heard that Jacobs was going to get there. He didn't. He got to 66 yards. And he got 3 touchdowns. So we're not going to sneeze at that. But the Green Bay Packers ended the game with 99 yards total, whereas the Detroit Lions ended the game with 111 yards on the ground.
Oh, my
Jahmyr
goodness.
Gibbs, somebody who we thought was going to be able to have a field day, he didn't necessarily have the field day we thought he would on the ground. But each and every run, you can tell this guy is a tough tackle every single time, man. He did put up in this game a total from scrimmage, 43 yards rushing, and the receiving yards another 30, 73 yards. So they get that 70 yards from scrimmage again. And he does catch a touchdown, and then he goes over 1,000 rushing yards for the season. Pushes his total yards again further above 1,000 yards. We got to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
We have to.
His total yards, I'm doing quick math, 1,328, and he eclipsed the 1,000.
13 games.
Yes. That's over 100 per game. And he eclipsed the 1,000-yard rushing mark, which is really the ultimate benchmark as an NFL running back. You love to see it. And for the second consecutive year, he didn't get one on the ground last night, but he has 10 rushing touchdowns for the second consecutive year, which is another one of those benchmarks that you like to see him get as a starting running back. But yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs, he didn't have the game that we're accustomed to. He didn't have 6-7 yards per carry in this particular game, but he ran hard. He still had some big runs. He had that touchdown catch. And I think every single running back, no matter who you are, no matter if you're Barry Sanders or Walter Payton or the like, you're going to have games where just sometimes the holes aren't there. Sometimes you just got to get the tough 2, 3, or 4 yards when you have to, and sometimes you have to contribute in other ways. I wanted to highlight him, not because he was not because it was his standout game or anything, but because 1,000 yards?
Yeah.
1,000 yards in 13 games. I didn't even foresee this, and I thought that Jahmyr Gibbs was trending towards maybe being the best running back in the NFL, but this man might end up with 1,400 before the year's end, and he might end up with the 3rd or 4th most in the NFL when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and that's where it's awesome to see Jahmyr Gibbs having this type of success. Because it's exactly as Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes described. It's just another example of them calling their shot and knocking it out the park. And where I really liked him in the development of his game is not just knowing that he can catch the ball out of the backfield, but it's the precision and the cleanness to his route running. That touchdown catch was crisp. The way he leaped out the backfield, the way he read where the linebacker was going to be, and just to be on point timing-wise. Because Jared Goff had to fit that ball in there between the defender that was spying on Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield, as well as the safety help that was coming from the broader part of the end zone. And it was just perfect. It looks easy, but we've seen previous Lions teams where if these things are not on point, I'm sorry, you're getting blown up at the red zone. I don't have too many fears and worries about the Lions when they do get into the red zone. I honestly think that they're going to score every single time that they're in the red zone. And when they don't, I feel like it's a disappointment. In large part, it's because you have guys like a David Montgomery and now a Jahmyr Gibbs who's proving he can run between the tackles. Another thing that I liked about him as well is this. The Green Bay Packers were selling out to stop the run. They came in here saying, we know what your strength is. We know what your strength is. And I believe that they dared Jared Goff to beat them with the throw over the middle. And I believe that they basically say, we're not going to give you the run. That has to be called out. Their defense was getting into that backfield sometimes faster than it felt like the ball was getting into the hands of Goff at the snap. And to know that those running backs, we talk about, 2-3 yards a carry. I believe if those were any lesser running backs, we're talking about some of those being like 2 and 3 yard losses. Yeah. When instead we saw them fight to get back to the line of scrimmage. Those don't necessarily go on the stat sheet the way we would think. It does show up because we don't see the negative yardage taken away. But them fighting just to get back to the line of scrimmage. And think about how important that is, because how many 4th downs in shorts they find themselves in. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I want to be able to shout them out in the things that are grand, the 1,000 yards on the season, pushing your total yards up to 1,300, almost 1,400 yards, catching that touchdown. And whoever knows, bro, that linebacker's jockstrap is still up in the rafters. But you go out there, you're fighting every single play. It's like, I just want to be able to make sure that is called out, because I didn't think, honestly, that Jahmyr Gibbs had that type of dog in him. I thought he was going to be a weapon, but he's going out there and he's doing the stuff that they can say, well, usually these are David Montgomery type runs. Well, Jahmyr Gibbs is here.
Yeah.
He's a rock.
Yeah, and I know that I've said it before. I've said it a million times. You guys are probably tired of me here saying it, but I'll say it again. Jahmyr Gibbs has proven to me, and I saw it firsthand for really the first time in that Raiders game last year, that he's not a weapon. He's not somebody who's going to get, 700 to 800 rushing yards and 500 receiving yards. He is a great running back. And that's what he's continued to show. That's what he showed throughout the season, even last night. I mean, hey, he's a running back catching the ball out of the backfield. He could have dropped it on 4th down. I'm not, you know what I mean? Yeah. Even making a catch where you're wide open on 4th down, that's a lot of pressure. And you mentioned something that I wanted to highlight as well. There were a couple of times you mentioned the Packers selling out for the run. You mentioned the Packers doing, for the most part, a really good job, getting a lot of penetration into the backfield. Frank Ragnow didn't have his best day, but that's all well and good. You're still Frank Ragnow. But there were moments where it almost looked like the Packers nose tackle or the Packers defensive tackle would almost get Jared Goff down before he could hand it off.
Yeah. Several times. And that's what I'm saying. Like, their game plan, it worked to perfection. And I believe, I talked about this before on our show yesterday. Sometimes I want to see the Lions just go out there and just do their game plan. And I believe that the friction that we saw was them trying to do that. There were plays where I was like, man, I hope they're passing on us down. I hope it's a quick pass. I hope it's what we just saw work a couple of other times, but they still went to the run. Sometimes right into the face of the defense for just a 1 yard gain. And sometimes I wonder, like, okay, why are they doing this? You gotta stick to your identity. You don't know necessarily what's going to spring. When you start to cower and you start to kind of crater to what the other team wants you to, That's different than saying we take what the defense gives us. You game plan for if the defense is going to sell out to stop the run or to stop the pass. And when they had to rely on, okay, then, all right, we're going to dial up the passes because that's what the situation, we always hear them. The situation, that's what the numbers say, that's what the board says, that's what the advanced metrics say. Jared Goff across the middle of the field. Bing, 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 bing. Those linebackers are still looking for some of the passes that Jared Goff is putting across the middle of the field. And people, when they talk about the aspects of the yak, he's throwing people open, and that's something that these running backs, especially Jahmyr Gibbs, was able to take advantage of. And I believe it's because of the steps he's taken and being such a clean route runner as well.
Yes, and speaking of Jared Goff as it relates to the running game, one of the other reasons why I think this was such an MVP statement game, despite it not being perfect all around, is that you didn't really have a great running game to rely on. Jared Goff had to throw the ball 40 times, and he stayed efficient the whole game, besides for that one play. And, of course, there were a couple times in the first half where he was getting pressured, and he had to just do what Jared Goff does, just throw it away to where it's not up for grabs, it's not in harm's way. But when it really mattered, when it was time to lead those touchdown drives, it wasn't off the backs of Gibbs and Montgomery on the ground. It was primarily off the arm of Jared Goff. And you love to see it. Those clutch moments, those touchdown drives when you needed it, that field goal drive when you needed it. MVP statement for Jared Goff to reiterate that again.
It was like a window wiper yesterday. Yeah. It was just like, okay, I'm passing to the left, pass to the right, pass to the pass to the right, pass to the middle, then come back, pass to the left. Everybody, when you talk about 6 receivers with at least 5 receptions, that's crazy.
It's insane.
That's insane. That's insane. That's what I'm saying. Like that's not even what I'm accustomed to out of their offense. But the fact that they went out there, that proves this aspect of a deep well. Are you kidding me? You threw the 2 passing touchdowns. 2 of the passing touchdowns are to Tim Patrick, man. And on multiple of those, when you just freeze frame it, I was like, the Packers, bro, they were dead. They were just dead, period. I looked, I was like, there's like 3 players open. I'm serious, on both of his touchdowns. Go back and look at him like, Amon-Ra was wide open. Jared Goff looked at him like, bro, and just tossed it. And it was just like, dog, man. Ben Johnson, I know when I got into that red zone, he definitely was scheming up some stuff.
Yep, the Packers, they're dead. Beep, boop, bop, boop, beep. They're dead. But it's not dead. Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's a transition.
That was
my best.
That was a elite transition.
Can't all be 10s.
That was an elite transition. I give you that as well, too. But Jahmyr Cannabis, all right, Woodward sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or just chilling, Jahmyr Cannabis has you covered. They are home to Michigan's largest line of recreational cannabis products. They've got 27 locations across the state, repping Michigan in a very, very big way. 9 locations right now in Metro Detroit, so there's always one nearby. Hey, there's even one right around my house, which I need to hit up to as well. But if you're in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, Michigan, you can grab and get yourself ready for one, as there are new stores coming your way very, very soon. So Jahmyr Cannabis, go and stop by one today.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Holiday season, recharge with the Planet Fitness Black Card for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. So instead of fighting a stranger over a T-Rex, bring a friend for free and work out on the TRX. Instead of freezing in line for a deal, relax with some hydro massage feels. Instead of in-laws in your face.
Did you hear the owl?
Get some space at any of our 2,600 locations with the PF Black Card. Just $1 down, $24.99 a month. Deal ends Friday, December 6th.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Lions fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game like the one last night or savoring a quiet morning, which it ain't going to be nothing quiet about the victory days. But Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted, specialty coffee delivered right to your door, so they're treating you right, just like the Lions treat us right, man. Everything comes back to the Lions, right? All you got to do, though, is head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com. Choose your favorite roast. Use code Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. Awaken and wine. Support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters.
Stick is wild right now.
Stick is wild. Hey, shout out to Stick. Get some sleep. This is what happens, man, because I talk about the time that I left. Those boys stayed up like another 45 minutes, then had to pack up and then get home. And I know he does not live that close to Hayes. So
no, he does not even a little bit. Other side of Metro Detroit.
Hey, read that off real quick, JP.
Stick from Stick Radio. Goff once ate a Rubik's Cube and pooped it out soft.
Man.
Oh, my God.
I don't know how that's possible. But
Hey,
okay.
Shout out to Jared Goff. And you know what? One of his favorite targets from last night, one of his more important targets because of the times they connected in the red zone for 2 touchdowns, Tim Patrick.
Yeah.
You know what? We got to make sure that we shout out KG because he shouted out Tim Patrick as what he believed to be the X factor for this Lions victory. And you know what? It turned out that way. Tim Patrick, he was third in the team in receptions, but he led the team in receptions. He was third in receiving yards. 6 receptions on 7 targets. He had 43 passing yards and obviously the 2 big touchdowns. The only other receiving touchdown was the Jahmyr Gibbs one we talked about. But just wanted to make sure that Tim Patrick, the big body receiver, you know, the X, the guy that we thought, you know what, that guy that you just need to be able to toss up to sometimes on 3rd and longs, the guy when you're in the red zone and you need a big body receiver that gives you your quarterback a few different angles to be able to throw it at when you're back there. This guy has been, as some people advertised earlier, and specifically KG as well. Like, I wish he was here today to be able to talk his talk. But to see what Tim Patrick has brought to this team, I know when Josh Reynolds news came up, it was a little bit of mild debate, and most people said, no, we're good with Tim Patrick. And look what he does this week, man. Shout out to him. First touchdown, I believe, since 2020.
Yes, as Summer so eloquently stated earlier. KG didn't get to talk his talk, but Summer, you talked yours. But yeah, Tim. So I don't need to repeat all of the numbers that she gave because she already gave them. But Tim Patrick, just if you're a fan of NFL football, if you're just a fan of great stories, then you've got to love what Tim Patrick is doing. 2 consecutive seasons that were ruined by injury, an Achilles and an ACL back to back. I'm not sure if that's the right order. But regardless, it can really derail things. It could even end careers. But Tim Patrick, you can tell that he loves being here, that he loves being part of a winning team, that he loves making contributions. And honestly, he's exactly what the Lions needed. I know before Tim Patrick was really involved in the fold in terms of playing every week, there was questions about, do the Lions really need that X receiver? Do they really need that big body 6'5", 210-pound receiver, but they did all along, and he's been exactly what the doctor ordered. He's basically, for lack of a better term, replaced Josh Reynolds' production, and he's come through at big moments, and as Summer stated earlier, his first touchdown of the season, his first touchdowns, plural, since 2021.
That is amazing, man. This offense was able to go out there and manufacture what they're able to manufacture against a defense that's trying to force them a little bit out of their comfort zone. All season, we talked about the fact that their identity is what they're able to do through that dual-headed monster in the running backs. And usually we are used to more efficiency. So though they did get their 70 yards each from scrimmage, we're used to more efficiency. We're used to each of them scoring in the same games, and that didn't happen yesterday. This Detroit Lions team, and this is what Tim Patrick represents to me, just kind of the symbology of, is the fact that the Lions can give it to you however you want it. They're not a team that you can say, you know what, here's their weak spot. No, really? You shut down Sonic and Knuckles, which is supposed to be, you know what, you stop them, that's the kryptonite touch, right? That's what it's supposed to be. You put a little bit more pressure on Jared Goff. This was supposed to be a little bit different game, and instead, they found another way to go out there and get you. Like we keep reiterating, 6 receivers with at least 5 receptions, and Tim Patrick put 2 tutties on your head.
2
Shout out to Tim Patrick. And just the
Patrick.
blocks as well. It's also in the broadcast. They don't just talk about it, but they have a bevy of highlights to go and show. Even though these receivers don't have a ton of yards, guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown, guys like Tim Patrick are going out there and blocking their tails off. Absolutely going out there and working every single play. It's not just one of those plays where it's like, well, I ain't getting the ball, well, I'll half run. I ain't getting the ball, well, I'll kind of run. I'm not getting the ball. No, they're going out there and they're making a difference. And they're going out there and they're bringing the physicality and that edge. Instead of hearing our guys talk all week, I saw them go out there. I heard McKinney talking. But I also saw him complaining to the ref because Amon-Ra St. Brown popped the helmet off. That's what I'm talking about. You crying. Go out there and play the daggone game. That's what they were telling you. They were saying sack up. That's what they were telling you. You talk. You call people out. They were telling you go out there and play man ball then. They gave you guys a couple gifts. And all of a sudden you're sitting here crying because Amon-Ra St. Brown is jamming you.
Man. And isn't that, as I mentioned earlier, there is the play right there. You just love to see it. And as I said at the beginning,
man, I wish I had the complaining on that at the end too.
Yeah, just as I said at the beginning, when it comes to the Packers, Xavier McKinney, this doesn't take away who he is as a football player. He's probably going to be on the Pro Bowl. He's been one of the best safeties in the NFL, but he talked before each Lions matchup, and each Lions matchup, he didn't impact the game in a tangible way. He got some tackles, he had some decent moments in coverage, but it wasn't like he played up to the standards that you've seen from Xavier McKinney against other teams. So just the fact that the Lions were able to render him unimpactful for the most part, that's honestly as big of a reason why you've won these games as any.
Hey, and you know who? Another reason why? I'll tell you that after I read this super chat. Another big reason why they've won some games here, especially as of late. Steve Lehman, $5 super chat. So many social media crybabies this morning. You're right, bro. Not just the players. It's been their fans in droves. Their fans are heartbroken right now. They are heartbroken. He said, refs apparently cheated Green Bay. No. Just be quiet and take your freaking medicine. 12-1. LFG.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now, man, with this squad. But you know, another player who's played a very, very important role this year is Jake Bates.
Yeah.
Jake Bates. And in the Houston game, it was two big field goals that was needed. And in this game, another game winner from Jake Bates has completely changed the complexity of this. And hearing Jared Goff talk about him after the game, saying things like, you know what? Oh, no, whenever we get inside the 50, I know that's 3 in our pocket at least. Do you understand how much more comfortable that must be for this team than last year? You're not just going for the 4th down now because you have to. You're going for it because you know we're that team. But if we have to, we also know we got 3 in the back pocket. There was times when that wasn't so sure for Detroit Lions kickers.
Well, and that's the thing. And that's why even though it was a relatively easy field goal to win the game and nobody really had any doubt that Jake Bates was going to make it, you have to shout it out because we've seen teams in really big games not be able to execute. We saw it with the Bears when they went up against Green Bay, when their field goal ended up getting blocked and they decided to not get it closer than they should have. You saw it with the Denver Broncos against the Kansas City Chiefs, where the Chiefs really enacted their devil magic again, but they had a 35-yard field goal that was blocked.
Yeah.
Nobody would have expected that because those are like gimmies. So the reason I wanted to highlight those is because when you've needed Jake Bates, really, you've needed him all year to make kicks throughout the game, but when you've needed him in the clutch moments, when you've needed him against Houston even more so to make 2 50-plus yard field goals, when you needed him to end the game with his right leg again and kick a walk-off field goal against the Packers, he has done it, and he's really given us no doubt that he's going to get the job done. He's missed 1 field goal all year. He could be in the Pro Bowl, man.
Justin from North Carolina, $2 super chat.
Shout out.
And you made some great points. I was just looking at the super chat. I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? No, we were going to talk about him. Jack Campbell.
There's a lot to talk about, man. If we missed out on Jack Campbell, I apologize. But, we can talk about him now.
That you know what? 8 tackles, 3 solo, 1 QB hit, and just straight up nasty. And like a Boy Scout type of like demeanor, but just absolutely nasty, man, out there on the field. What up, though, real quick, JB Smooth? I see you over there, brother.
I think we got a special call from someone, so I'm going to try to see if this works. Goff, are you on the line with us? Goff? No? All right. Maybe it didn't work.
Hey, you know what?
We'll try to get
keep trying to cook up, man. Definitely keep trying to cook that up, man. It's never a bad time to give Jared Goff a little bit of screen time. But Jack Campbell, that's a guy that in the beginning of the season, when we kept calling out, they've made no additions at all to the linebacking core, and then we realized they got a whole bunch of dogs there. And who did Dan Campbell say is ready to step up and be that green dot? Jack Campbell, and he's been that guy all season. The most consistent, and obviously the best ability is availability.
Yeah.
And Jack Campbell has been there for this team, and not just there. He's shown that he's made some of the necessary strides over last year. We talk about how some of these quarterbacks, when they're playing the Detroit Lions, their numbers aren't quite what they are against other teams. A lot of that has to do with what these linebackers are doing, deciding between coverage and also how they choose to play the run to discombobulate what these quarterbacks can do across the line for them.
I'm not ready to make this a declarative statement just yet because you do have Kirby Joseph and you do have Brian Branch and you do have Carlton Davis. But if you want to make the argument that Jack Campbell has been the defensive MVP so far this season, I'm not going to be mad at you, and I think you have the case. It's because not only has he played so well, not only has he taken that second-year leap in a way that some of us, myself included, didn't think he would get to this level, although I did think he'd take a leap. It's the fact that he's continued to play well, continue to make plays, continue to be all over the field as his mates in the locker room in the linebacker room continue to go down. No Alex Anzalone, no Derek Barnes, no Jalen Reeves-Maybin, no Malcolm Rodriguez, and he's got to play in the same linebacker room with new guys who he's probably never even met before the game. David Long and Quan Alexander.
Yeah, that's such a great point. And as the green dot, it's on you to make sure that defense can be in the positions that has to be. You're calling out the coverages, you're calling out the plays, you're calling out, hey, get here, get there, and you have new players back there. It's great that those guys are more veteran-like players, so the learning curve shouldn't take too much, but to understand the responsibility that Jack Campbell has and to see, as we lose players, we're not just seeing other players step up. We're seeing players step into elite. We're seeing players step into the next level. And they're still young players. Brian Branch, Jack Campbell, Jamison Williams. These are young players. Sam Laporta. All these guys played some important roles last night in that victory and had big plays. Hey, I think we got somebody on the line, JB Smooth?
Yes, we do. We have someone on the line for you right now.
Let's go to him real quick.
Waiting for him to get all set here, and there he is.
Hey!
Hello, boys.
Hey, Stick.
Good morning.
What up, though? What up, though?
Just, in my basement in my church, sitting here praying, listening to the gospel. Another elite game. Almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, which he admitted he expected Nixon to be in another place, and sometimes you anticipate, and that's what great quarterbacks do. They have anticipation. Sometimes defense jumps the route, and they take it. That's okay. But you know what you do when you get the ball with 3 minutes to go in a tie ball game? You give the ball to Jared Goff, and you say, Jared Goff, go do your thing. Just Jared Goff, I'll get out of the way. And you know what, Jared Goff? Here, we're going to make things a little more interesting. We're going to have your linemen step on your feet, but you're still going to get the handoff off. Because you're Jared Goff.
Hey, he got the tequila already. It's a Victory Friday show. Huh? Let's go, man.
I was at Hayes Social till about 3 a.m. last night.
I feel like I just saw you, brother.
Yeah, we did. The staff stayed after, and we had a little party. It was a good time, but man, I can't wrap my head around 12-1. I just can't.
It's incredible.
The more I think about it, the more unplausible it sounds, the more it's just absolutely insane. But I'll tell you this much. Anybody who doubts Jared Goff, you're a loser. Your mother hates you. I'm sorry you weren't hugged as a child. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you don't know what love looks like. I'm sorry. Like, there's people in the chat. There's the haters. We got now all of a sudden, Philly fans popping up in the chat? Come on. Meek Mill got his cheeks clapped with oil from Diddy, and you're going to come into Detroit and talk about it? Get out of here, Philly. Not worried about you. Not worried about Sirianni. Not worried about anybody. You know who I'm worried about? This man right here. Protect him at all costs. That is our Lord and Savior, Jared Goff.
Let me get that FTP real quick, Stick.
Fuck the Packers.
Hey, look, bro, you got me on the backwards hat energy right now, bro. Love you, Stick. Love you, man. Thank you for the vision, man. Thank you for all of the support, brother. Have a great day on this. And kind of for him, it's a Jared Goff type of a day.
Yeah,
it just is. It's like I said, man. Being able to have a quarterback that we know. When your GM and your coach is saying he can make any throw we need him to, he can make any throw we'd ask him to, and we've seen him do everything, including win us big games. 12-1, Flannel. As much as I talk about the 3 touchdowns from Josh Jacobs, and we're not gonna sneeze at that, even though he just got 66 yards, the Detroit Lions sit at 12-1. Short weeks doesn't matter. Injuries doesn't matter. The other quarterback is supposedly more talented. Doesn't matter. Oh, the new upstart team that everybody is ready to pick to knock us off. You get swept. That's how this is going. This Detroit Lions team is something different. Everything that Dan Campbell said is what this team is. And now the Packers know what that deep, dark abyss is too.
They know what that deep, dark abyss is, but you're certainly not going to be in the deep, dark abyss when you go to Mark White and when you watch What's Trending, which we are coming back to. Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
And I got to tell you about Caesars Sportsbook as well. After you get through talking with Mark White, scan that QR code on screen, use code word Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $8,000, and all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. And you know what? If it doesn't hit, they will throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. It is Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. There's conference games tonight, everybody. Get some money in there and make some money with Caesars Sportsbook.
This holiday season, recharge with the Planet Fitness Black Card for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. So instead of fighting a stranger over a T-Rex, bring a friend for free and work out on the TRX. Instead of freezing in line for a deal, relax with some hydro massage feels. Instead of in-laws in your face.
Did you hear the owl?
Get some space at any of our 2,600 locations with the PF Black Card. Just $1 down, $24.99 a month. Deal ends Friday, December 6th.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward in Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Over Michigan, and Soroki's took over me last night because that was a nice perk of doing the watch party, that is for sure. And check out their new Fenton and Heartland locations. If you were fortunate enough to be in the Fenton area last night, you had the opportunity to go there to their grand opening, which was last night from 4 to 8 p.m. And now they're just open. So enjoy Soroki's if you live in the Fenton area, and don't miss out on their grand opening in Heartland on December 12th, which is 6 days from today, a week from yesterday, from 4 to 8 p.m. Enjoy exclusive giveaways, a chance to win free Soroki's for a year, and the cheapest gas in the state. Come out and enjoy the fun, food, and unbeatable deals at Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza.
Hey, and attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy, every Thursday during Amon-Ra and Everett's, where he offers you top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy at DMAC Trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. Hey, and we are back. Chat family, you guys have been epic today, man, with the support. Continue to smash that like button if you haven't gotten an opportunity to share the stream. It is a Victory Friday show, and it's been electric. The chat has been just full of people all morning. Randall Smalls with the $10 super chat. Bottle of Johnny Walker Blue will be drank in honor of all of those not with us. And you know what, man? Whether that's appropriate too. Because I'm, you guys know I'm going here dealing with some family stuff right after this, man, with a loss of a family member that was a diehard Lions fan, man. Just season tickets for years. So stuff like this, especially around the holiday seasons, being able to do this type of stuff with you guys, man, it means so much. So shout out to you, Randall Smalls, for that $10 super chat in honor of those that can't be with us, man. But it is time now to get into everybody's favorite segment, What's Trending. Word to Jars, man. It's time to spark up. Let's go.
Shout out to Jars.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, JB Smooth.
Hey, let's rock. I don't know if Fennel's ever done that, but I love it.
I keep forgetting. Oh, yeah, that's usually KG's job. Hey, you filled in on the other segment. I got your back.
Yeah, let's go.
Shout out to Flato for that one. I appreciate that one. Before I hop into these videos, I got some news for you guys. 2025 can't get here soon enough because the McDonald's snack wraps will return in 2025.
Wow. Oh, and I see the honey mustard. That's the one that's cracked, bro. The honey mustard snack wrap
one
was absolute crack.
Shout out.
Good.
The snack wraps will return in 2025 to McDonald's. And also, I don't know how much you guys like this, but you ever wanted just to smell like a cookie before?
Yeah, just smell a cookie?
Just
smell like a cookie.
Huh.
I mean, go on.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Well, Dove has now put out this. They are releasing their crumble cookie deodorant.
Wow.
Yeah, so now you can smell like a cookie all day.
Huh.
Wow.
I don't know how that would go.
Summer,
maybe good.
Would you want to smell like a cookie, like a crumble cookie?
I would.
Okay.
I would.
Which is your favorite crumble cookie?
Honestly, chocolate chip is just my favorite cookie, so
Hey,
that's all I go for.
That's right. Hey, you know what? Well, they got somebody, man. They got some. Now I'm sitting here like, man, maybe I'll just go and just, get some crumble cookies. Queen Kool-Aid, she likes crumble cookie. Nah, she would just want me to get the cookies, not the scent.
You sure?
Yeah. She would be like, "This is just frustrating me, man. Like I just want a crumble cookie now."
So it wouldn't involve. You see, why am I holding up 5 fingers?
Wait, what's your favorite kind?
I hope Kool-Aid, you understand what I'm referencing.
Should I just move on for this?
Maybe. Hey.
Let's just slide on to the next video. Let's just move on to the next video. But I don't know what they're teaching this kid at home, but I don't think the math is mathing on this one for me. I'm sorry, man.
Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Roast Cinnamon Roast Chunch. Reese's Pieces.
Okay.
And the best part about it, LeBron James and Michael Jackson. Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Roast Cinnamon Roast Chunch. Reese's Pieces.
I didn't know where this was going.
Best part about
It went to a great place, JB Smooth.
Lucky Charms.
That's LeBron James and Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Chunch.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Reese's Pieces.
Okay.
Like I said, it's just LeBron James and Michael Jackson there.
That is hilarious, bro.
And finally, I will end what's trending with this. You know what? I'm actually glad we have Summer here because I want to know, Summer, are you a hooper by chance?
Yes.
All right.
Back in the high school days, I was.
Yeah, her and her whole family. You will
my
catch
gosh.
threes from the logo.
Don't even get us started on that.
Magic,
Kool-Aid, you know about that.
Big Magic, Little Magic, all of them, bro. All of them.
Oh, damn. I did not know.
Oh,
So
The whole
thanks for
family.
putting me on.
The whole family.
And her mom.
Yes,
Your mom and my mom hoop together.
Yep.
Oh, damn. All right. The whole family hooping.
Whole family.
Whole family hooping. Well, I haven't seen this full video, but just let me know what you would do in this situation.
What?
Oh.
What? I don't even
She
know.
tried to go for a rebound, and homegirl snatched her wig off. I'm sorry.
I don't even know what to do in that instance, bro.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Summer like it's on
I
site.
don't know.
Yeah.
Summer like, nah, this ain't happening.
Cause you ain't never had nothing like this happen, like ever, man. It's just go out there and hoop. And people know if you're a hooper, you already know how to take care of yourself if you're in that type of a situation, like the female hoopers and such. My cousin Kim, she went to King. She was a baller.
Yeah.
She was all state, and she knew like, if I got the extensions in, them boys are gonna have to be in a certain way if I'm gonna go out there and hoop. Definitely. Like, we're not just going out there like this. Like, that's like, come on, man. Somebody on her team didn't let her know. Like, somebody, that's terrible.
We'll have to ask you this question, Summer. Is she probably super embarrassed by this, or is this something you can just laugh off and just keep playing?
I feel like it can go both ways, to be honest. But I don't know. That was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, I saw your face during the clip.
Yeah,
and it was
I'm not
just
gonna
like,
lie. That
wouldn't
was
be
kind of embarrassing.
like that, like the Boondocks. Like, wouldn't happen to me though. That was shout out to Summer.
Yeah. Shout out to Summer. But that's it for what's trending, you guys. Let's hop into some mailbag. Let's see what we got going on.
Hey, let's rock. We got to hear from our friends from Feldman.
Hey, I believe, don't I have 1800 tequila first?
1800
let's rock.
1800 tequila. Some anonymous caller was nice enough to buy myself and KG a shot of it last night. Probably one of the reasons why KG is not here, but hey, part of the other reason is he worked his ass off yesterday, was on for the entire watch party with myself and Neil Rule. But at 1800 Tequila, official tequila of Woodward Sports, Lions watch parties and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township and celebrate the wins with smooth 1800 Tequila. Proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions, 1800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila. Drink responsibly. Feldman, of course, where we were at yesterday and where I got my car. Man, I've had it for almost 2 years. Thank you, Feldman. Shout out JP and Francis and Ryan Poulter as well. And since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Hey, and now it's time for Wake Up WUW Mailbag segment presented by Feldman Automotive Group. And you know what? You know what? I will tee this one up for you so you can get prepared, Summer. You do have a question. John Effenlord asked Summer, what is your top 5 Detroit athletes of all time? So I'm going to tee up our question as well. You guys can think of your 5. Listen, whether it's a mix of 5 present or 5 all time, we'll definitely let that be.
I was going to say, which sport are we talking about?
Hey, we'll go all of this all around.
Okay.
And another thing, just another question out there. While you get your 5 together, let me know when you have it, and we'll definitely go to you. It's just X factors from last night. So our Feldman Mailbag question from me to you all. Who are some of your X factors or some of the players that you want to just throw a little bit more attention to? Because I think that the defense has a few more players on it that we could actually highlight.
Well, I feel like this is an obvious one, but Pat O'Connor. I know we've talked about him, and he's certainly one of those guys that if you would have told me that he was going to be a heavy contributor later on in the season, I would have thought that something went wrong, and something has with the injuries. But Pat O'Connor, man, he was getting consistent pressure. He was consistently just getting into the backfield, did his job, did what he had to do. I believe he drew a holding penalty as well. So Pat O'Connor is one of those definition of a grit guy and definition of an X factor, because nobody expected anything from him before the season.
Yep, and I see El-Kadim Muhammad, second in tackles on the team. He did get a QB hit. You guys know I am big on QB hits.
Yeah.
They had 7 last night. So if you're not getting the sack, you got to make sure that you are punishing Jordan Love. And another player, Trevor Nowatzki.
Yes.
Three total tackles and 1 quarterback hit as well. And one that's not going to show up in the stat sheet is that big hit that he laid on Tucker Kraft, man. It's just to know that the level of physicality and what these players on the other team are going to have to be in store for. Yes, now they know. Everybody. It's not just where's Kirby Joseph. It's not just where's Brian Branch. Everybody on this team are some dogs that's coming to bring the boom, the hit stick.
Yep.
It's awesome to see some of these guys. JB, is there anybody else that we're missing, or anybody else that you want to be able to shout out, or anyone we've talked about that you want to say, you know what, shout out to them? Because I do got one person.
I mean, just as you said, Brian Branch as well too laid that hit on Tucker Kraft, and he got right back up and was like, all right, didn't faze me, but you can tell he was hurting on the inside. It's okay, man. It's okay.
He was hurting.
You can pipe down now.
Yeah, but let me shout out Zadarius Smith as well. We talked about this, Flannel, he's gotten a sack in every single game that he's been a Detroit Lion, and he got the only one, as you brought to my attention, of the game last night. For some reason, I thought, well, was there another one? It was like, no, it really was just Big Z. And he also was in the backfield several times, kind of causing havoc, speeding up the plays of the Packers, forcing Jordan Love to have to scramble and move around in that pocket. And Big Z, man, I just want to be able to shout him out. Shout out to him as well for that post-game interview. This guy's happy to be here, and he took last night personal. We've heard from several players, Terran Arnold, Carlton Davis, Kirby Joseph, all said we heard y'all talking. We took it personal. We came out here to BTA, y'all, on purpose. And then what did Big Z say? Oh, FTP. I wanted to pay them back.
Man.
Did you hear his post-game interview?
Yeah.
He said, I wanted to beat them. He said, I went to the Vikings before so I could beat them. I'm here right now so I could beat them. And I actually love being here too. Like, I love that type of stuff. So shout out to Zadarius Smith. If there's anybody else that you guys want to be able to give some love to, chat, whether we've said their name yet or not, definitely put it in the chat.
I'll do one more. Miles Adams, because I am as big of a football geek and as big as a stat guy and player guy as you will ever find, as you guys know, as some people get irritated at before. I did not know who Miles Adams was. I did not know that he was a human being who existed on this earth, and he was playing significant snaps last night.
Why are they saying Jamal Adams' name like that? Like, I'm for real, for a couple times, I'm like, I'm serious. I was like, why? You're right, man. But this team, it doesn't stop this team.
I did not even know who he was. But hey, you played. You got 3 tackles.
That's wild. Jordan from MI, Feldman Mailbag, what new signing do you guys think showed out the most last night? I gotta go with, does Zadarius Smith count, or is he not necessarily a new signing?
You can't count Zadarius Smith.
You go with Quan or Jamal Alexander, or do we choose any of the guys that also stepped up too? Because we got Muhammad in there as well as your guy Miles Adams.
Yeah, I think they're talking about Adams, David Long, or Quan Alexander. If I had to single out one, because I think they all made somewhat of an impact. I would probably say David Long, because he got that fumble recovery after Carlton Davis got his forced fumble. But all of them did their job. Nothing too special, nothing too flashy, but they did their job.
Hey, what about you, JB Smooth?
Oh, I got to hit the Quan on that one.
He got to hit the Quan.
I mean, David Long did pick up that fumble, but Quan did have those 2 tackles as well, too. And you could just tell he had a lot of energy on the sideline. He just wanted to be out there. He just likes playing football. He just wanted to hit somebody, to be honest with you.
Randall Smalls, Feldman Mailbag. So, who do we want to beat the crap out of in the Super Bowl? Don't care. He says it's probably KC he's picking KC for Sam.
I mean,
he's calling the shot already. Super Bowl Lions.
Yeah, and if the Lions play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I would pick the Lions to win, assuming they don't get even more injured. But we shall see.
Shout out to Don Beats, Feldman Mailbag. That girl getting her wig pulled off in that video from JB's famous and always great What's Trending. He said that reminded him of Sam Brown pushing McKinney's helmet off last night. That's all I got to say.
Yeah,
that play. I'm telling you, dog, there was so many different plays that were just epitomes of what the series is between the Packers and the Lions. It was a bunch of little brother crying from the Packers, and the Lions going out there and just smack. That's what it was last night. Man,
Changing of the guard.
I'm telling you, bro, when I saw that helmet pop off, and then I just saw him just crying like, it just, hey, little bro energy, brother. Enjoy the L. Sky Dogs have you came to Detroit in the cold and did not leave with the W. Mailbag, in honor of the Philly Trolls, should Brad be sorry he took Gibbs over Carter? That's from Sky Dog.
No. Sky Dog, obviously no. But I think the Eagles got who they wanted, and I think the Lions got who they also wanted. But I think who the Lions wanted and got is better than who the Eagles wanted and got. But I have respect for Jalen Carter as a player. I think that's as all-encompassing as I can give you.
Yep. And Dante151, what about Zeke Turner?
Yeah. I actually knew who he was because he made a play last week, unlike Miles Adams. But you know what? For life, no matter if they continue to be on this team or as people start to come back, they get relegated to the practice squad or to just mostly on the bench, they will always have a special place in Detroit sports lore. It's not a huge place, but it's a place.
Yep, in Detroit Arrow. You're right. I mean, Uncle Bruce. He's carved out a place in that lore in your heart, huh?
He was more responsible for them winning that game than anybody
Shout
because Jameis Winston, everybody's godson and favorite quarterback and Messiah, was terrible when he came in for Derek Carr. Never forget,
I both hate and love that that's a part of this narrative.
He was terrible as a backup when he came in for Derek Carr. If Derek Carr doesn't get hurt, maybe the Saints win. But Bruce Irvin said not so fast, although I never root for
I'm
injury.
seeing some more of these people giving love. Turner, this is from Detroit Arrow. Turner, Zeke Turner for bulldogging love into the turf.
There we go.
Let's see here. I just saw, Keith 2.0 Muhammad been great the past 2 games. Really? Yeah, probably great the past 2 games and really good the games before that as well. He's been a guy that I know early on when he made certain impact plays, the heavies were like, yo, that guy's going to be a dog. Similar to what they said with Malcolm Rodriguez. So it was dope to see him be able to go out there and do that. Let me see here. There was another play. Another one. There it is. Ed Catellis, Feldman Mailbag. Does any other coach in the NFL make the same call as Dan Campbell with 40 seconds to go? Maybe Sean Payton, because that's where he learned this from. The Saints were doing stuff like this over a decade ago.
I don't think many are. And whether you agreed with the decision or you're just happy that it was made in hindsight, at this point we just have to let Dan Campbell cook, because more often than not, they convert the 4th down. They make the big play. It doesn't always happen. It has burned them a couple of times, but they're an 11-1 football team.
Mid-May, shout out to Terrion Arnold.
12-1 football team.
Yep.
My fault.
He said, my boy got flagged, but he played a good game. And that flag, I thought that flag was very questionable at best. But what I really liked was there was a big play in the game to get a 3rd down stop, I believe, and force a punt. And Terrion Arnold played great coverage, forced the route runner short of the sticks, and got a solid tackle. And it was just like, yo, you know what? That's what we want. And it was almost simultaneous. The ball hit the receiver's hands, and then he was just right there with a good tackle. And you have to be the way that he plays defense, as he learns to be less handsy, this plays into the type of skill set he has to basically be one of those types of cornerbacks that can run the route for the route runner.
You wonder what he's going to be in a couple of years when he shakes off a lot of the rookie. I don't want to say rust anymore because he started the whole damn year, but when he learns the craft a little bit better, is less handsy, and just, hones his skill set. Who knows? Maybe he's got some Pro Bowls loading. Wouldn't shock me.
Mistakes, that's all.
Yep.
Art Vandelay, who was covering Jaden Reed. Dude got a big fat 0 yards last night. I know. Yeah. Sorry, because we represent the Chat family. Yeah, blame Jaden Reed if we don't get that dub this week.
Was it weird that none of the broadcasters mentioned his name at all during that second half? Not even the simple fact that Jordan Love hasn't even thrown Jaden Reed's way, or he has 0 catches right now. I just found it weird that the broadcaster said nothing. Never even brought up his name in that second half.
Because that's what I'm saying, though. It's when you do that, then you start to really look at the fact that the Detroit Lions came with a game plan. They enforced their will. There were some things that the offense did to put the defense in less than favorable situations with those couple short fields. But largely the defense did its job. When you look at the stats across the board, there's a lot of pedestrian numbers for the Packers, which before the game, a lot of people said that these Packers skill players were going to have a field day because our defense was depleted. Well, guess what? They just didn't. Josh Jacobs, we tipped the cap again for the 3 touchdowns, but they still held the Green Bay Packers to under 100 yards rushing for the entire game.
And you only have to tip your cap so much when you beat the team. That's what you absolutely love. Summer, have you given any thought to your 5 favorite Detroit athletes? I know that's a lot to ask on the spot, but now that you've had some time to think, do you have a list?
Yeah, so I have 2 football players and the rest Pistons.
Hey.
Okay, so first I got to go with Barry Sanders, of course.
Yep. Okay.
2, Calvin Johnson.
Nice.
3, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Chauncey Billups. And then if we're talking recently, Cade Cunningham is going to highlight that group too.
Hey, let's go. I love the Pistons. Y'all already understand. Pistons, man. That's the Steez. But that's awesome list. With Barry Sanders at the top of that list, man, the Lions, who are some players that you believe are going to be on this list for you in the future from this Lions team? What's your 5?
David Montgomery for sure. Jared Goff, of course. Jahmyr Gibbs. Oh, man, that's tough.
Probably go Saint.
Definitely him. Yeah, St. Brown. And then my last one.
I'll probably go to big fella.
That's tough.
Was it Panay or Aiden?
I mean, you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Because Aiden's my number one.
The team is so good. Yeah. It's so hard to just pick.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, all I know is keep interviewing the running backs.
Yes.
Keep doing it. I know you got content with them several times.
Yes.
And they've been on one this season, man. Yeah. So definitely.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to you on that last one. It's hard. They're all good.
Yes. And just a side note, they're playing Miss Officer by Lil Wayne and Lady Jane's.
You hear
one
that?
of my one of my all-time favorites.
I've been
with these tracks lately.
It's dope here.
Yeah.
I love the environment.
Y'all
Lady Jane's, the Birmingham Roast, Woodward, the legendary Woodward Avenue, Woodward Sports is in here, man. The Chat family is in here. Is that a show?
That is a show, but I'm kind of getting distracted by the music right now. Funny, quick little story. This isn't so much of a flex as it is just, well, maybe it's a little bit of a flex. I'm terrible with lyrics. A lot of people really like lyrics when it comes to songs. I'm not one of those people. Or at least I don't dislike them. I just don't memorize them very well. But I was out with my wife not too long ago. I'd had a few, and Miss Officer comes on, and I know damn near every single word. And my wife was impressed.
Yeah, she was impressed.
She was very impressed.
Hey, you know what? Lil Wayne. Shout out to Lil Wayne.
Shout out to Lil Wayne.
He was a wingman for you. Shout out to him.
Yes, and
I love that.
And shout out to your list, Summer.
Hey. Thank you as
Hopefully
well
we have
for
the
dropping
same
by.
opinion.
Hey, I like the list. I love, honestly, I like the Joe Dumars love too.
Yeah,
I think he's one of the most underrated figures in Detroit sports, responsible for 3 championships here. I know that not everything was perfect, but seeing this team go so long without a championship is where I have to definitely make sure that I elevate Joe Dumars a little bit more, because it's tough to win NBA championships.
Yeah, I mean, there was a drought between 90 and 2004. So.
And who ended the drought?
Joe Dumars was the front office guy. Yeah.
Hey, let's go. Let's get this chest pass and let's get out of here. What a victory show too. Obviously we would love to be able to have the full squad with us, but to be able to kick off the show with our brother Matthew Broder of Woodward and Maine, of Woodward Sports, of Wake Up Woodward, one of our founding members here and always and forever part of the WUW Crew, and we'll be at that cookout. Shout out to you, Matt Broder, for giving us your time and kicking off the day with us. That dude, Justin, and Kavasier Chase. And not just the work they do in the show, but all the stuff behind the scenes as well. Both of those guys had late nights just as well. A lot of us are running on fumes. Shout out to them. Shout out to Travis, who drove up from Toledo. I make sure all of our guys, man, this is the locker room speech. Everybody, KG, JB, Stick, Anton, man, the whole squad, man, the heavies holding it down. The sales team. I know there's people I'm missing from Neil and then everybody, because Neil shut up to Hayes.
He was second in the second half, yeah.
Yesterday was an insane day. And everybody put in the work, from the team to us to you, chat family, man. So it was a day. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Chase. Thank you for being here this morning as well. Intern Summer.
Thank
what up,
you.
though?
And my fifth one, Kirby Joseph.
There we go.
I was like, let me do a defensive player. Yeah, Curb.
Let's go, man. Thank you for joining us this morning. Hope you have a good day. Any other last words for the chat, for anybody?
Detroit versus everybody. That's all I got to say.
Hey, let's rock. That's a clip right there. WUW Sports MVP in the TD booth. That is JB Smooth. What up, though?
Hey, it's been a hell of a morning, bro. Let me just say that right now. But we made it through. It's a weekend, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy this Victory Friday. Let it continue on for your weekend as well, too. And you know what? We're right back at it next week.
Hey, let's rock. And you know what? Chat family? Go ahead, smash that like button if you haven't gotten the opportunity to. So smash that like button for the team as we continue to get bigger as well. We got Summer in the building. Hit that like button for Summer as well. The vet of the squad, the vet of the network, that is Flannel Sam, just all sports lover, Red Wings correspondent. What up, though, brother?
The Lions can do some amazing things, some things that you didn't even know they had the power to do. I think me and Shad are going to Kumbaya. Shad in the chat. I don't know if it's Shad or Shad, by the way. I think I call them both. But a phenomenal show. Amazing job from everyone, especially called you Wummer.
Oh,
with the W.
Let's rock.
Yes, with like a flex. Sam was acceptable.
You know what?
Hey, the olive branch there. I get an acceptable from Shad.
For between you and Shad, that's, you know what, man? That's a date.
But I'll tell you what, and I hope that all of you guys get the opportunity to do this as well. I am going to take the most epic nap of all time this afternoon, because it's been a gauntlet, but it's a gauntlet that I am happy to go on with my brothers, and now my brothers and sisters at WUW and Woodward Sports.
I'm telling you, the WUW Crew extended family, we got a lot of family. That cookout next summer is going to be crazy. Definitely High Def Steph will be back in the building. I know you know these guys. Cody Davis from our Pistons World, Mr. Christian 313, Culture Detroit, It's Real TV. Man, listen, shout out to you guys. If I haven't already, Day Rose TV. There's a lot of people, a lot of movers and shakers on the Detroit sports scene who are going to be making their way to this set as well. So I can't wait. Shout out as well. We had some chat family members, like I said last night, that made their way out. If I'm going to shout out people, I got to continue to make sure that I honor you guys. It is epic the way that you guys continue to show up and give us the fuel. We talk about the bulletin board material that the Lions love to eat up. For us personally, I'm telling you guys what you all do for us, whether it's agreeing, disagreeing, banter, even some of the disrespect, the respect, all of it, still showing up though every single day. It's definitely spurring us on. So on this Victory Friday, chat family, you guys, make sure you guys give yourselves a pat on the back. I hope you guys have a great day. It's your boy Brandon Dan, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Man, it's been a victory wake up, Woodward. Have a blessed day, y'all. What a day.
The draft experience was shitty.
My high school dating experience was shitty.
I can tell you all 16 receivers and where they went to college.
I can tell you every girl that put me in the friend zone, every girl that shot me down, what grade it was, and what she said to me. Sarah Williams, freshman year at a house party, says, quote, I want to be single. Got a boyfriend the next day. Beth Samuel, junior year, I got benched during a football game. Afterwards, she came up to me and said, I want to date a starter. Kelsey McFarland, 10th grade, I took her to dinner, paid for dinner, and she told me I was the best guy friend she's ever had. Rachel Fletcher, took her to a party with my friend. She said, I like you, but I like your friend better. That was in 12th grade. Emily Westfall, senior year, I asked her to go to prom with me. She said, quote, sorry, I already have a date. She didn't even go to prom. Tanya Allen, Heather Talbert, Lindsey Turner, Leslie Frazier. It's okay, though, because now here I am working at Woodward Sports, They all got fat after high school, and the only thing I want back are my hoodies.